For play-by-play coverage of Wasatch Wasp baseball on 94.5 The Peak.
Good afternoon and welcome to the ballpark. This is Tyler Barrett here with Tyler Moss live on 94.5 The Peak and HeberValleyRadio.com. We are here from Wasatch High School for the last regular season game of the season against the number one team in the state. Wasatch was in the game yesterday against Spanish Fork thanks to another gem on the mound by Jackson Kelson, who threw 5 innings, struck out 3, only gave up 4 hits and 1 run in the 5 innings. The problem is the bats for Wasatch have seemed to go away the last 4 or so games as Wasatch was shut out for the first time this season, losing the game 2-0. Now, they haven't lost a region series all year, Ty, but this one seems to be a tall task as the pitcher the Spanish Fork's going to throw today doesn't have as many innings pitched, but a 0.67 ERA.
Yeah, that's not bad, Tyler. So if you're Wasatch, you're going to have to climb out of the slump here. But I think the coach speak here that you would say is, hey, if you want to compete in the state tournament and make a run at a state title, these are the teams you have to beat. And so you can't feel down on yourself and say, oh, we've got a good guy on the mound, we can't compete. You expect that you're going to be able to go get them. And Wasatch has had one of the best offenses in the state, Ty, so I think they're fully capable of being able to get the job done today. We'll find out soon enough. Looks like we're getting set for the national anthem, Ty. Why don't we step away to a break? When we come back, Wasatch and Spanish Fork, game number 2 on deck.
Hi, friend. Are you ready for your next delicious meal? Come to the Dairy King, home of the train, where they're serving the yummiest food to friends and family in the valley. Come in and get a mouth-watering peach shake, peach cobbler shake, or peach raspberry shake. Dairy King, the winner of the Best of State for 18 years. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary. Bring a picture and a memory of being at Dairy King. Proudly serving the Heber Valley for 75 years. The Dairy King, home of the train, is serving deliciousness daily. Stop in today.
Timberline Ace Hardware is your full-line Benjamin Moore paint store. Visit them for your home projects, business-to-business, and contractor needs. And remember to ask about their delivery services. And they're looking for some cashiers. Apply today. And get your Carhartt wear, your cool outdoor clothing, and Wrangler jeans. Timberline Ace Hardware, located west of the Wasatch Wasp football stadium at 737 South Main Street, serving the Heber Valley for over 50 years.
The 50s produced some great sound. That early rock and roll triggered so much emotion for so many. Here's another sound from that era. The dental drill triggers a whole different set of emotions. The sounds, the smells, feeling out of control, whatever keeps you from the dentist at Dorius Dental, we get it. We focus on the little things. Distract yourself with your favorite episode of The Office, or crank up the 80s or 90s and let it take you back to another time. At Dorius Dental, we are sensitive to your needs. We are taking care of the little things so you can move on to more enjoyable things. Located in Gateway Plaza, Heber City.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. KTMP, Heber City, and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
Welcome back again. You're listening to the Dairy King pregame show. The Dairy King is winners of Best in State from 2008 to 2021, proudly serving the Heber Valley since 1946. A lot happening right now as you have senior night over on the softball field, senior night at the baseball field, senior night over at Wright Tree Stadium for the soccer. That's actually going to be happening a little bit later, but they're also holding an event here, Tyler, where they have all the school board members here, former school board members. They had them throw out the first pitch today in honor of this new facility, the softball field, and all of the turf that it has, the infield turf here on the Wasatch baseball field. And it's a good outing. Like, you've got a lot of people out here to watch senior night for both the baseball and softball teams.
Yeah, and tip your cap to the school as well, don't you think, Tyler? They're really doing their part to make sure it goes off smoothly. A lot of different people jumping in to make sure this thing runs well. And it's been kind of fun to watch. We've had the national anthem across for both boys and girls, softball and baseball right now, Tyler. And we're ready to get this thing going. Wasatch again squaring off against the number one team in the state. Spanish Fork coming in with a 20-3 overall record. And they are now the Region 9 champions after defeating Wasatch yesterday. But still a lot to play for here between Wasatch and Spanish Fork in this one on senior night.
Yeah, I'm going to jump into the stat of the day, Tyler. And it's brought to you by the Gordon Law Group, your full-service local law firm practicing in all areas of the law. They take pride in saying, yeah, we do that. The last 4 games, the Wasatch Wasps, who were on the season, are hitting above 300. In the last 4 games, Ty, only hitting 200. 29 strikeouts in those 4 games and have only scored 10 runs. Now, this is a team that going into yesterday's game was hitting 327 on the year, and we're averaging over 10 runs a game in region play. So the bats have just gone away. Now, part of that, you got to tip your cap a little bit to Springville. there, Barrett, Barrett, he went out and threw a gem yesterday against Provo, got a shutout victory again, and Esplin's a good arm. So you're facing some better arms. Spanish Fork actually has the #1 ERA in the state, and so the way the schedule has happened, Wasatch is facing the best pitching staffs arguably in Region 9 at the end of the year. And so you're going to see a dip, but not to this extent, I think. In talking to Coach Jacobson, that was one thing that he's concerned about, is he would like to see the bats where they're at. He likes where the pitching staff's at. Jackson Kelce threw a great game again yesterday. You expect Bolender to throw a good game today, but what can you do to wake up the bats? And maybe that's part of your Country Garden Nursery keys to the game today.
Yeah, Ty, but at the same time, if you're thinking coach speak a little bit here, this is really what you would want. Face the best pitching as you get ready to go into the state tournament. Because you shouldn't be surprised by anything in the state tournament. Nothing is going to kind of jump on you and surprise you. If you happen to see a Barrett-type player from Springville, you'll be confident and you'll feel okay, because that's what you faced going down the home stretch here. But the bats, you've just got to be a little bit more competitive. The number that really popped out to me yesterday, Wasatch had 21 outs through the 7 innings. Out of those 21 outs, 17 of the balls stayed within the infield, either a strikeout or a ground ball, or only 2 strikeouts, Tyler. So 2 balls were put in play into the outfield for Wasatch, and so 17 balls hit in the infield. This Spanish Fork defense is pretty solid, especially up the middle on the left side. Shortstop Will Dart has committed to play at Arizona State University, only a sophomore, and so you want to be a little bit more competitive, putting some pressure on the weak spot of the opposing team. Now, Spanish Fork doesn't have much weakness either, but if you go to different sports, football, basketball, whatever it be, you're going to game plan how do we attack their weakest part when you scheme for them. And in baseball, that's a little harder to do, because it's just challenging to hit the ball to certain areas. You kind of have to go with where the pitch lands, but you definitely don't want to be hitting it up the middle, and that's what Wasatch was doing, is just grounding out to that shortstop over and over and over again. And he's just old reliable here for Spanish Fork today. And so this team needs to be a little bit more competitive, get the ball maybe on the line a little bit more, and see if you can't get some balls to drop in. Going against a pitcher with a .06 ERA, though, that's going to be a tall order in this one. But Wasatch has to feel good, because they've got their guy on the mound here as well, Tyler, and Jackson Bolender.
That's right. Your Country Garden and Nursery keys to the game. The Country Garden Nursery is your only one-stop shop for everything garden and yard related in the Heber Valley. Stop into the indoor plant shop today for their plant of the month. Let's go ahead and go around the diamond, Tyler, for our Point S Tires defensive starting lineup. You already mentioned Jackson Bolender, the ace for Wasatch, will be on the mound today. Jackson Bolender on the year. 32 innings pitched, only 26 hits in those 32 innings, 33 Ks, 11 walks, and a 2.41 ERA. Catching behind the dish will be senior Kelson Stocking. Catching for the second straight day. At first base, junior Cole Zimmerman. At second base, junior Craig McPhee. At shortstop, Carter Bucad, the sophomore. At third base, junior Chet Wilson. Starting in left field will be senior Jack Bluth. Starting in center, junior Crew Erickson. And starting in right will be junior Tragan Shaw for the Wasps. Leading off the top half of the first inning for the Spanish Fork Dons will be the same starting lineup they had yesterday. Dart leading off, Duvall batting second, and then Romero in the hole.
Yeah, Ty, I think this is what you want to see, kind of best on best here. Wasatch. Jackson Bolender has been your guy for 4 years, and I was feeling a little bit nostalgic, to be honest, today, having coached him through all of his career up until this year as a pitching coach, and I talked to him. I can't believe he's a senior at this point, and we were kind of going over some great highlights, even back to his first varsity appearance. He came in the state tournament his freshman year, faced off against a top 5 team and the best hitter on that team, and he ended up striking him out, something that the other pitchers on Wasatch just couldn't do. And from that time on, it has just been an impressive showing from Jackson Bolender throughout his high school career. Can't believe we're to this point where, as a senior, he's pitching his final regular season game, but that's where we're at, and I expect him to go out in strong fashion. I think he's going to have a great game here today for Wasatch.
That first pitch brought to you by Mountain Refined. From design to project completion, our team excels in understanding and implementing your specific lifestyle and taste preferences into your interior design. Come into our showroom in order to find beautiful furniture, bedding, mattresses, decor, and so much more. Jackson Bolender goes up 0-2 on Dart. Dart 2 for 3 yesterday with a couple of singles and then another nice barrel. But he gets him swinging there. High fastball goes into the glove of Kelson Stocking.
Boy, what a tone setter, isn't that, Tyler? 3 pitches, and you put down one of the best hitters in the state in Will Dart, and he wasn't even close. Jackson Bolender mows down Dart. Remember, yesterday, Wasatch just struggled, and I'll tell you, it's not because Jackson Kelson was not pitching well. He was high on his velocity, high 80s, low 90s, but just couldn't get it by him. There's a different Jackson Bolender on the mound here today.
Gets the strikeout, and now it's going to bring up Duvall. That strikeout brought to you by Physical at the Pit Stop, your locally owned and operated physical therapy clinic, serving you from head to toe, including vertigo to sports injuries, serving the Heber Valley for over 40 years. He'll go up 0-1 to Duvall. Duvall 2 for 3 yesterday, got on by a bunt and a base knock, also struck out. Nice fastball in the inside corner, called strike 2. 5 straight strikes for Jackson Bolender to start off the ball game. 0-2 pitch here to Duvall. Goes fastball again. This one is skied high over by the fence. Cheb Wilson goes over, and that's going to eventually go foul, and we'll reset at 0-2. Yesterday in the game, Wasatch only had one base runner reach second base, and that was in the 7th inning. Really struggled at the plate. Wasatch's pitching staff did well. It was Casey Anderson and Jackson Kelson who combined for 6 innings pitched, only gave up 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 unearned. This one's going to be swung on and a base knock between the 3-4 hole. Jackson Bolender's gone straight fastball so far in the ball game, and Duvall's able to get a hold of that fastball a little bit up in the zone, and he lines it through the 3-4 hole for the first hit of the ball game.
Ahead 0-2, he'd like to have that pitch back, Tyler. Thought he could sneak a fastball by him, and Duvall was all over that thing. Good hands, shot that ball through the right side of the infield.
It's going to bring up the number 3 hitter, Romero. 458 on the year, 1 home run, 13 RBIs, was 1 for 2 with a double yesterday. Struck out in his first at bat against Jackson Kelson. He'll take ball 1. Romero, the catcher for Spanish Fork, had a bomb of a home run last year at this ballpark over the right field wall, landed into where those cars are out there behind the right field fence, behind the double right field fence. Gets fastball here. It's elevated to right field, right at Tragan Shaw. Shaw comes up with it, makes the can of corn catch, and Wasatch has 2 away here in the top of the first.
Well, Tragan already gets a redo. Yesterday he had a ball from Romero, very similar to that, and it was hard to see off of the bat. Both he and Erickson said after the game that they were struggling to kind of get good reads off of the bat for whatever reason down there at Spanish Fork. Had a misstep early, and Romero was able to get a double on a similar ball. Tragan plays that one very well and makes the easy out.
Bring up the older brother, Dart. Dart, 289 batting average on the year. He's going to take ball 1. Runner goes, and he'll be in there easily at second base. Kelson Stocking throughout career in only a stolen base attempt yesterday. Spanish Fork successful today on the stolen base, and that puts a duck on the pond with a 1-0 count here to Dart. 289, 1 home run, 10 RBIs, was 0 for 2 yesterday with a walk. Playing first base for the Dons. Good lead from Duvall at second base. Pitch is in there for strike 1 on the outside corner. Want to invite you to come down, put the earbuds in and come down and listen to HeberValleyRadio.com. Both senior night for both softball and Wasatch baseball happening right now at the same time, both facing off against Spanish Fork. The 1-1 pitch is going to be driven to left field. Tailing, Jack Bluth can't come up with it. It's going to go off the glove. 1 run comes in, and Dart is going to be in there safe at second base. Jack Bluth normally plays second base, wasn't able to come up. That ball was tailing with the wind, and a tough break there as Spanish Fork pushes 1 run across here in the top of the first.
That's too bad. Too bad. You're gifting a run early on an error to the number 1 team in the state who's got a guy going with an ERA below 1. Not an ideal start there for Wasatch to give a freebie across the board.
That's going to bring up Dalton, who is the pitcher today. 241 batting average. Was 0 for 2 yesterday. He'll take strike. No, they're going to call that low. Low in the bottom of the zone. Ball 1. Yeah, tough break there. A single, and then a stolen base with 2 outs, and then a drop ball in left field brings in the first run for Spanish Fork.
You know, Ty, I think he just got his eye off of it a little bit. He actually had pretty good footwork, getting his shoulders squared around the right way, and was backing down, had his eyes on it the whole way. I think he just kind of misread it on the way into the glove. Got the ball in quickly, and they had a good play at Dart at second base. It was pretty close. But now Wasatch is going to have to try to shut this thing down. What it means is extra pitches for Jackson Bolender, obviously the run across the board, and that's kind of compounding right now.
Tries to go curveball with the 2-0. That's down, and that brings the count to 3-0 now to Dalton.
That's a good pitch, though, there from Jackson. He kind of knows his personnel. You've got a base open. This is your 5-hitter up. 5 really through 9 for Spanish yesterday. Wasn't all that competitive at the plate. And so you don't want to give a cheap 2-0 fastball to steal maybe another run on. Ty, you mentioned coming down to the ballpark. One of the reasons to get down here is for this chips and dip they got going on. Tony's Tacos has some chips and dip here at the concession stands. It's worth going over and checking out.
For free. Just donated for Cinco de Mayo. Just donated chips and salsa.
Yeah, and they've spoiled us, brought some up to us up here. And if I disappear for a minute, you'll know why. Got to have some of this chips and dip over here.
Jackson Bolender does land to the 3-0 fastball. Now comes back with another fastball on 3-1. It's swung on and fouled off down the right field line. Brings up a full count. Fills up the count here with 2 outs. 1-0. Spanish Fork gets one in the top of the first on an error by the left fielder. Bolender comes set. The payoff pitch with 2 outs. In there for strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning for Jackson Bolender as he sits Dalton down looking. But Spanish Fork is able to get 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error by Wasatch in the inning, and 1 runner is left on base. It's 1-0 as we go into the bottom of the first.
You might be used to having someone ask you the question, what is it that you need? I think that's limiting. I'm going to take you through a 6-step process. And it's simply answering questions. And it might not just be home. It might be that you want that fancy new car. It might be that you want trips. It's your list. What is it that you really, really want?
Call Tom Stone at Guild Mortgage in Heber City.
Tom Stone, MLS 257849. Guild Mortgage Company is an equal housing lender. MLS 3274. All loans are subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions may apply. Subject to change without notice.
Hi, this is Nicole with Mountain Refined Furnishings and Flooring. And if you didn't know, we've recently partnered with Mattress Warehouse of Utah to bring you the largest selection of mattresses around. The team at Mountain Refined prides themselves on making your home a place where you love to be. We offer a large selection of furnishings, flooring, window treatments, gifts, decor, and so much more. If you haven't been by lately, stop and check it out. You'll be pleasantly surprised. We're located at 480 North Main Street.
This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Bottom of the first inning at Wasatch High School, where Spanish Fork leads Wasatch 1-0 on senior night. First inning action brought to you by Wasatch Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine, your rehabilitation specialist dedicated to your recovery from sports injuries, auto injuries, industrial and or commercial. Let Dan Ivey and his team get you back to 100%.
Your batting lineup today for the Wasps brought to you by Bank of Utah. Crew Erickson will bat in the leadoff spot. Chet Wilson, Peyton Swap, Jackson Bolender, Cole Zimmerman, Jack Bluth, Kelson Stocking, Carter Bucad, and Cray McPhee will be your batting lineup today. Crew Erickson steps into the box. He'll take a strike on the low outside corner. Again, Dalton, 21 innings pitched, 0.67 ERA, only 13 hits given up all year. Comes back with another fastball, and that one's in there for strike 2. Dalton, right-hander, going to bring the 0-2 fastball. It's swung on by Crew. It'll be fouled off down the first base side, and we'll reset at 0-2.
Similar approaches from both pitchers, Tyler. You said Bolender was challenging with the fastball early on. You see that from Dalton there as well. Gets up 0-2 and doesn't want to show any other pitches to Crew. Comes with the hard fastball again. Couldn't get it by him.
0-2 off speed is low and outside. Crew does not chase. Brings count to 1-2. Crew 395. 467 on base and 25 runs scored on the season. He was 1 for 3 yesterday, singled in the top of the 7th. Gets another curveball, this one up in the zone, a little bit ahead of it. He'll foul it off to the Spanish Fork side, and we'll reset at 1-2. This day in history, Tyler, last year at this time on May 5th, Wasatch completed a series sweep with a 4-1 victory over Salem Hills. Crew is going to swing at this one, a swinging bunt, not in time, as Crew leads off the ball game with an infield single on a swinging bunt there from Crew. The speed gets him on base, and Wasatch has the leadoff guy on. To finish my thought, Ty, Cannon Bay was able to get the win on the mound last year with Cole Cloward getting the save. Jackson Bolender had a 3-run double in the game to lead the Wasps offensively as Wasatch won that game 4-1, and that set up Wasatch for sure taking second. They had a chance to take Salem last year for the region championship. Ultimately didn't win that series.
Yeah, but Wasatch really peaked at the end of last season, Tyler, winning 8 out of their last 10 games. And this team's looking to finish strong as well.
It's going to go slash and run. Crew's going to be safe at second base as the ground ball goes to second. Chet will be out, but it does move the runner from first to second. That third baseman was about, 15 yards away?
Yeah, 15 feet maybe. It was a perfect call there. Coach Jacobson sent in Chet early on the bunt, and the left side just was wide open. Shortstop went over crashing early to the second base. Third base was in, and Chet just pulled it to the wrong side, unfortunately. Hard pitch to handle to get over to the left.
Well, already Wasatch with their first RBI opportunity. Their first one with a runner on second came yesterday in the top of the 7th inning with 2 outs. They get an opportunity here with 1 out. It's Peyton Swap, who's again hitting in the DH spot, dealing with that lower back injury. .333 batting average, 6 home runs, 21 RBIs. Was 0 for 3 yesterday with a strikeout. He'll foul off the first pitch down the right field line. Crew, a good lead at second base. Curveball, misses on the outside corner. Moves the count to 1-1.
Oh, that's good. Romero was trying to frame that at the catcher position and kind of pull it up, but that ball was, if that was called a strike, it would be a tough day for all hitters. That ball was definitely down and away in the zone.
Breeze
He made it look good, though.
Comes back with a fastball on the inside, moves the count to 1-2. Wind out in left field, looks to be blowing in pretty heavily right now. And, of course, blowing out over on the softball field. We'll see if Paige or Andrea can take advantage of that on their senior night.
You would probably put money on it, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Find a way to put one over the fence.
1-2 pitch, up in the zone, swung on and missed. Second strikeout of the series for Peyton Swap. And that'll bring up Jackson Bolender, the pitcher, hitting .500 on the year, .587 on base percentage. Does have 5 extra base hits. Was 0 for 2 yesterday with a walk.
But had one of the few really good barrels, Tyler. Was just right at the second baseman. And with a runner on second, that's opened up that hole that Bolender's pretty good at pushing the ball through, the 3-4 hole between the first and second baseman. A lot of space.
Outfield playing deep for Spanish Fork, so base hit should score. Crew has good speed at second base. He'll swing at the first pitch and foul it off to the Spanish Fork dugout. Cole Zimmerman on deck for the Wasps. Will reset. 0-1 count. Crew thinks about stealing. That looked like a balk. I think they're going to get him for it. He kind of hesitated, and now Crew will advance to third base on the balk. So now a wild pitch gets a run in. It's going to move the count to, I believe, 0-1. That negates the pitch, so we're still at an 0-1 count. Coach Gub Nelson wants an explanation on it. It's kind of a weird, I didn't think, it was kind of just a weird delivery. Coach Nelson doesn't agree with the balk. Runs are at a premium right now in the series. Only 2 runs scored yesterday, 2-0. So any base that Wasatch can take or Spanish Fork can take, they're going to try to argue it and take it in today's game.
Well, and pass balls aren't a very common thing for this Spanish Fork team, but it brings that into play. It makes you a little bit more uncomfortable as a pitcher. You can't gamble as much. With a 4-hitter who's hitting .500 and bases open, you just can't throw too many pitches down and away and see if he'll chase, because it could result in a ball. Oh, Ty, big moment. Takes a run off the board for Wasatch.
No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner is left on base as Wasatch trails 1-0 here on 94.5 The Peak.
Heber City Point S is locally owned and operated by Larry Rhodes and Brad Hyatt. They offer the best brand tires at low prices with extensive knowledge and experience of repair and services with no pressure sales. Only what you need. They've been taking care of cars, trucks, and trailers for over 20 years. No appointment needed, conveniently located, free shuttle service, and free Wi-Fi. Take $5 off your next visit when you tell them 94.5 The Peak sent you over. That's Heber City Point S.
Gucci Goo Barbecue in Heber Valley is a premier barbecue restaurant. You can choose from finger-licking ribs, poppin' andouille sausage, tasty chicken, tender brisket, delicious pork, and yummy street tacos. Friday night dates, take that significant other for the smoked prime rib that melts in your mouth. Family-friendly atmosphere where everyone is welcome, quick service for dine-in or takeout, great quality food, and great value for your money. That's Gucci Goo in Midway on Main Street.
5, 4, 3, 2.
KTMP, Heber City, and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
Top of the second brought to you by Wasatch Back Flooring. From the words of Wasatch Back's customers, from start to finish, the entire transaction was honest, professional, and meticulous. Highly recommend Wasatch Back Flooring and Paint. Thanks, Dan, and your team. Wasatch robbed of a barrel there. It was a good barrel right at the first baseman, and Jackson Bolender unable to beat out the pitcher. Career's going to be up now here in the top of the second. He's going to elevate one deep to left field. Jack Bluth goes back, and makes the catch near the warning track for the first out of the top of the second.
Was that the second pitch of the at-bat?
Second pitch.
I was looking down.
Ball
First
one,
one was ball one.
Ball one, and then that swung on pitch there. It's going to bring up Bringhurst, the third baseman, 276 batting average, does have a home run and 9 RBIs on the year. Was 1 for 2 yesterday in game 1 of the series. Nice off-speed pitch there, swung on and missed by Bringhurst. Bolender back into the windup, delivers the 0-1. It's swung on, fouled off, take a picture. It's stuck in the backstop. Tell you what, that's one of the pet peeves, annoying, whatever you want to call it, of a head coach is when a ball gets stuck up there. $5, like a $5 bill just standing there.
And there's no getting that one, huh?
Fastball in the outside corner, called strike 3. Third physical at the pit stop, strikeout of the game for Jackson Bolender. Second looking. That'll bring up the designated hitter Cloward through the complete game shutout yesterday against Wasatch on the mound. Also had both RBIs, both on sacrifice flies to the outfield. He'll come up with 2 outs. Spanish Fork able to generate their run last inning with 2 outs. Fastball swung on, lazy ground ball that will go foul to the Spanish Fork dugout, and we'll reset. Your infield again today, Chet Wilson at third, Carter Bucad at short, Cray McPhee at second, and Cole Zimmerman at first base. An all underclassman infield today for the Wasps. Fastball too far outside. You don't usually see a lot of emotion from Jackson Bolender on the mound, and he thought that was a strike, or at least it was similar to the pitch he just got the strikeout on the one before. 1-1 the count. Goes back with an off-speed pitch, fouled off, moves the count to 1-2. Jackson Bolender was heated after getting robbed at first base.
Oh, everyone was heated. I've never seen Coach Jacobson. He was jumping and hollering across the field. First base coach, I don't know if it was Coach Sweat or Watkins over there.
It was Watkins.
Was on the field themselves, and the umpires just started walking away, which
that's what you need to do.
Yeah, is not the wrong move there, but they should have got some help, Tyler, on that one. That ball, it's hard not to sound like a homer here, but it was missed by about a step. Bolender got there easily before, and it takes a run off the board.
Deuces, 2-2 pitch is swung on and fouled off into the freshman soccer field on the right-hand side. We'll reset at 2-2. Outfield today, Jack Bluth playing left, Crew Erickson playing center, Tragan Shaw playing right. Peyton Swap in the batting lineup, but not playing in the field, so with that back injury. 2-2, curveball, down in the zone, ball 3, and that fills up the count to full with 2 outs. Bolender on the mound, Wasatch wearing their Astro throwbacks with the yellow cap today. Oh, ring him up. That's strike 3 instead. It's ball 4. Jackson Bolender is fuming, Ty. He's pacing on the mound. He's not getting the calls he wants. He's circling. And very similar pitch to what he just got the last batter on. A little bit of inconsistency there. And Wasatch has Spanish Fork has a base runner on with 2 outs. Brings up the number 9 hitter, the left fielder, Asay, 293 batting average on the year.
Yeah, these umpires are about to get a crowd on top of them.
We need to take a deep breath up here in the booth as well.
Well, they're going to get the crowd on top of them. It's going to turn into a miserable game for them out here because you can feel it. The emotion is just rising all throughout the field here. Wasatch needs to get settled. This is actually throwing me back a little bit last year. The last time Wasatch was shut out before yesterday was against Olympus when Jackson Bolender threw in the state tournament last year. And very similar. He felt like he wasn't getting calls. The umpire was very tight, a little inconsistent in the zone. And he kind of emotionally struggled to keep it together in that. See if he's able to bounce back, because he'll set the tone. How he is on the mound, the team will respond to him as well.
1-1, it's going to be a ground ball through the 5-6 hole. Carter Bucad's going to be able to knock it down, but it's not going to be in time. It's another infield single. So after 2 outs on the first 2 batters, number 8 and 9 generate a walk and an infield single, and that'll bring us to the top of the order. Dart, who's 2 for 4 in the series, and he's got a duck on the pond and another runner on first base. Might be what Wasatch needed at the same time, Ty. I remember being a head coach, and there were times when you felt like the team was a little flat or down, where you would purposely generate some energy by arguing with the umpire, try to create something a little bit of Norman Dale style on Hoosiers when you get asked to thrown out of the game or something just to get things going. Fastball's going to be swung on and fouled back. Might have woken up the Wasatch bats a little bit. We'll see when they come up. Let's see if they can get out of this one, though. First and second, 2 outs. And the worry is all the way already up to 34 pitches. That's not bad. You're trying to get around 15 pitches an inning if you're the starter. If he can get Dart here, that wouldn't be too far off the pace. It's an 0-1 count with the duck on the pond. Curveball, inside corner, strike 2. Going with the curveball a little bit more. See what he goes with here. 0-2. Dart again, 2 for 3 yesterday, and really had 3 barrels. The last one was a good swing as well, just got caught by the outfield. Went the opposite way, went over the second baseman's head and up the middle on his 2 hits. It's an 0-2 count here. Bolender, 1 look. Now takes a second look. Delivers the 0-2. Nice swing and a miss. Kelton Stocking drops it, but now we're wondering if it was a foul ball, but the umpire says no, it was a swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the game for Will Dart. 4th strikeout of the game for Jackson Bolender. He's averaging 2 strikeouts an inning. Again, brought to you by Physical at the 5th stop. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 2 runs are left on base. It's 1-0 as we go into the bottom of the 2nd.
Dan Sluga at Wasatch Back Flooring is extending his services to include quality paint products to complete your home remodeling needs. Locally owned and operated, Dan and his team can help you find the right flooring for your home with quality products from Mohawk, Shaw, Target, Godfrey Hirst, and many more. Since 2009, they've been exceeding their customers' needs by helping them select flooring that fits both their lifestyle and budget. They've got you covered at Wasatch Back Flooring and Paints.
Wasatch Back Grill and Deli is a family-owned and operated business serving great food and customer service in Heber City and Midway for over 7 years. For a burger with kick, try the Firehouse. Have a hankering for some seafood? Try fish and chips. Or try the Mandarin chicken salad. Their homemade recipes, freshly grilled burgers and sandwiches are complemented with unique sauces and homemade sides. They provide the best experience and highest quality food. Stop by today and try their great menu items. As a thank you to teachers, first responders, medical personnel, and military, get 15% off meals all year round.
And now, back to the action. Wasatch High School Sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Bottom of the 2nd inning, Wasatch trailing Spanish Fork 1-0. Cole Zimmerman coming up. 2nd inning action brought to you by Physical at the 5th stop, your locally owned and operated physical therapy clinic, serving you from head to toe, including vertigo to sports injuries, serving the Heber Valley for over 40 years.
Cole Zimmerman, 328 batting average, 13 RBIs, a 426 on base percentage. Takes ball 1, but then takes strike 1, moves count to 1-1. Last time he stepped into the box at Wasatch High School, he was 2 for 3 with 2 doubles and another one that went over the left fielder's head that, the left fielder dropped it to another good barrel. Takes a strike there as well. 1-2 the count to the junior. This one swung on. It's going to be a rollover to the second baseman. Second baseman fields it, steps through, almost brings the first baseman off the bag. First baseman's able to keep the foot on the bag, and there's one away here in the bottom of the 2nd. Going to bring up the left fielder today, Jack Bluth. 358 batting average, 457 on base, 13 RBIs. Kelton Stocking on deck. Jack 0 for 3 yesterday, struck out 1 time. He's going to swing at this one. This is a good barrel, lifted up to left field, but it's not going to get deep enough as the right fielder settles underneath it, makes the grab, and just like that, 2 away here in the bottom of the 2nd. Kelson Stocking, 214 batting average, 3 doubles, 7 RBIs, was 0 for 2 yesterday in the catcher role. Into the windup is Dalton. He's going to throw a pitch on the outside corner. I'm not sure if that was outside or low, but it's ball 1. Hits what looks to be about the same spot. Calls a strike there. 1-1 now the count. You know, we're acting like we have a great angle for these balls and strikes up here in the booth. Fastball on the inside.
Yeah,
ball
don't you know, Tyler? It's always, our angle's always the best one. We've got it better than the umpires.
What we need to do is, I think Tate Shaw has a pretty good angle right there. We just need to get a thumbs up, thumbs down from him there in the bleachers of whether it's a strike or a ball, and we'll be able to be more accurate on that.
Get the little signals worked out here in the bleachers, Ty.
Maybe not a thumbs up, thumbs down, but, you know, a little touch of the nose or play with the chin and be able to get that. Foul ball is close to getting caught by the first baseman. Moves the count to 2-2, so deuces with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 2nd. 2-2 pitch, too far outside, moves the count to full.
And things we can look for up here in the booth that's kind of fun to watch, Tyler, is you kind of watch the catcher's glove. Where do they set up? How are they receiving? So the catcher's on the outer half right now. Here's a good swing.
And it is going to get down. It swung on, single to the right side by Kelson Stocking with 2 outs and 2 strikes. See if Wasatch can get something going here with 2 outs. Nice single there from Kelson Stocking. Brings up Carter Bucad, .213 batting average, 13 singles on the year, 8 RBIs. 0 for 2 yesterday with a strikeout. Cray McPhee up on deck. Dalton comes set. Swings at a high pitch in the zone, fouls it off to the backstop. Dalton kind of comes set in a wide stance out of the stretch. Makes for a quick slide step to the plate. Kelson Stocking's going to go ahead and run here. No speed up runner for the catcher. Long pause from Dalton. The 0-1 swung on and fouled off again. Moves the count to 0-2. Carter Bucad's been good with contact. Did not strike out last week in the series against Springville. Did have a strikeout yesterday. Now he's battling here with 0-2. Dalton gets the pitch, comes set. Delivers the 0-2, swung on right to the second baseman. Second baseman will scoop it up, throw it to first, and Wasatch is retired. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner is left on base. It's still 1-0 here in Game 2 of Wasatch Spanish Fork.
Hi, this is Abby Covarrubias, the Wasatch High School Student Body President. Did you know that parents are the #1 reason kids don't drink? Believe it or not, teens still listen to their parents. In fact, kids usually listen to their parents more than anyone else, including their friends. Utah kids report the #1 reason they choose not to drink is their parents' strongest approval. All kids need a parent's help to stay drug and alcohol free. Brought to you by Wasatch Behavioral Health and the Parent Bonding Project.
Napa know-how.
Your local Napa Auto Parts, Wasatch Auto Parts at 105 North Main Street in Heber City stocks auto parts, tools and equipment, and many other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Stop in today at Wasatch Auto Parts, 105 North Main Street in Heber City, a proud sponsor of Wasatch Wasps Sports.
Napa know-how.
Wasatch High School Sports is on the radio.
Third inning action brought to you by Wasatch Napa Auto Parts, your local Napa. Stocks auto parts, tools, and equipment, and many other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Stop in today. Update on the Wasatch softball team, currently down 2-0. 17-7 on the year, 6-3 in region play. They secured the second place finish. They play at Riverton on Tuesday to finish their season. And then they'll await the RPI to see where they end up in the RPI standings. Off-speed pitch called a ball here to Duvall. He singled through the 3-4 hole in his first at bat on a fastball. Bolender starts him off with some off-speed, just misses with that off-speed. Gets a fastball here, elevates it to right field. A good barrel, but Tragan Shaw settles underneath it. Nice can-of-corn catch there from Tragan. And there's one away here in the top of the third.
It's a great read there from Tragan. Something that Tragan Shaw does so well here, Tyler, is he's kind of been in and out of the lineup a little bit over the last couple weeks hitting-wise. But he's one of your best gloves, and you can see he's mentally prepared. He's not out there in the outfield pouting or thinking about how he wishes he was hitting. He's ready to go and help his team in whatever way he can. He's played a great defensive outfield so far in the early going of this one.
Bolender fools Romero on that one. Curveball low and inside, swing and a miss. Romero flied out to right field to Tragan in his first at bat. It's 1 for 3 in the series. Swings at a fastball, and you can tell the velocity that's going on right now. That's 2 baseballs now that'll be swung on and fouled straight back into the chain link and is stuck on the chain link. Just $10 just sitting there for anybody who wants it. The 0-2. And that one
like
is
that pitch,
at
actually.
the head of Romero.
That's an old-fashioned, what you call a brushback pitch, Tyler. And Romero, you could see on there, he's leaning over the outer half. He's a guy, he wants to get the barrel extended, tries to hit a long fly ball, and that one makes you think twice when you got a ball buzzing high 80s by your face.
1-2. Ooh, had the changeup, and Romero barely touched that changeup. It was a good pitch from Bolender, but Romero does a good job of fouling it off, and we'll reset at 1-2.
Yeah, great pitch from Bolender. You get him a little bit timid, looking over the outer half, and then you come back with a soft changeup, nearly swung over it.
1-2, curveball on the inside part of the plate, fouled off as well, and we'll reset once again at 1-2. How about this, Ty? Here's the stats for the seniors. They have 5 seniors on the softball team, okay? Kendall Purdy, Charlie Clough, Briley Bigelow, Andrea Sweat, and Paige Armendariz. And all those 5 have done this year, Ty, is hit 451, 131 RBIs, and 57 extra base hits between the 5 of them.
I'm sure that's more than many teams could put up with those types of numbers.
Tries to go outside, too far outside, and it's now a 2-2 count here with 1 out to the number 3 hitter, Romero. Best hitter on Charlie Clough has 17 RBIs and 1 home run. Strike 3 on the inside corner. You mentioned that he was up on the plate. Jackson Bolender paints the corner on the inside, and that's the 5th strikeout of the day. 3rd looking for Jackson Bolender.
Well, it's the perfect spot. That is the perfect spot, Tyler, because when you move up on the plate like Romero did, your eyes are not going to be as used to adjusting to that inside pitch that you normally are when you're back. It's just a couple inches different. So even though he's choking up, you kind of freeze yourself, and Bolender hits the perfect spot, freezes him, and sits him down. Jackson's mowing right now.
Brings up first baseman Dart. Reached on an error by the left fielder in his last at bat. Takes strike 1. Now he'll take ball 1 on a curveball that's in the dirt. Dart's back foot is almost out of the batter's box, Ty. Remember the old Rookie of the Year when the kid gets in the box. His back heel is almost out of the box. He's going to swing at the 1-1 and fouls it off, moves the count to 1-2. Briley Bigelow, Ty, 480 batting average for the softball team, 6 triples, a home run, and 14 RBIs. Andrea Sweat, 444 with 31 RBIs and 6 home runs on the year. The 1-2 pitch with 2 outs. Swung on, looping foul, as we'll reset once again at 1-2. And then, of course, Paige Armendariz, 627 batting average, 10 doubles, 10 home runs, and 54 RBIs on the year for Paige Armendariz.
54. It's incredible.
Reset at 1-2. Tries to go upstairs, too far upstairs, moves the count to 2.
Ball.
Yep.
It's an incredible number.
Goes back inside. It's going to be ground ball to Craig McPhee. He'll look it into the glove. Throws it over to Cole Zimmerman, but it's off the mark. Cole Zimmerman was a little bit late getting to the bag, and the ball's going to squeak through. And that's the 3rd time this game, which is that probably should have been outs, and now that extends the inning. And it's not threatening, but it does increase the pitch count here for Jackson Bolender.
Yeah, by the time it's said and done, he's probably going to have 20 additional pitches in this game that he shouldn't have had to throw, and that's even if this inning goes optimal here. In the 3rd inning, he's going to be close to 60 pitches when it's all said and done.
Comes back with a fastball here to the pitcher, Dalton. Dalton struck out looking to end the 1st inning. A 1 count with 2 outs. Jackson Bolender takes a peek, takes a second peek, delivers the 0-1, too far low and outside. We'll reset at 1-1.
Jackson, though, has looked good in this game, Tyler. He's got 5 strikeouts on the game already out of the 8 outs, the Wasatch just put up against Spanish Fork. 2 of those coming against Will Dart, the stellar shortstop here for Spanish Fork, and then 1 against Romero, the BYU commit.
Well, nice swing there, a barrel up the middle, but Craig McPhee with the diving snag flips it to Carter Bucad and gets out of the inning. Makes the tougher play there with 2 outs, and Wasatch gets out of the inning. No runs on no hits, 1 error, and 1 runner is left on base. It's still 1-0 as we go into the bottom of the 3rd.
Hi, friend. Are you ready for your next delicious meal? Come to the Dairy King, home of the train, where they're serving the yummiest food to friends and family in the valley. Come in and get a mouth-watering peach shake, peach cobbler shake, or peach raspberry shake. Dairy King, the winner in the Heber Valley for 75 years. The Dairy King, home of the train, is serving deliciousness daily. Stop in today.
Timberline Ace Hardware is your full-line Benjamin Moore paint store. Visit them for your home projects, business-to-business, and contractor needs. And remember to ask about their delivery services. And they're looking for some cashiers. Apply today. And get your Carhartt wear, your cool outdoor clothing, and Wrangler jeans. Timberline Ace Hardware, located west of the Wasatch Wasp football stadium at 737 South Main Street, serving the Heber Valley for over 50 years.
The 50s produced some great sound. That early rock and roll triggered so much emotion for so many. Here's another sound from that era. The dental drill triggers a whole different set of emotions. The sounds, the smells, feeling out of control, whatever keeps you from the dentist at Dorius Dental, we get it. We focus on the little things. Distract yourself with your favorite episode of The Office, or crank up the 80s or 90s and let it take you back to another time. At Dorius Dental, we are sensitive to your needs. We are taking care of the little things so you can move on to more enjoyable things. Located in Gateway Plaza, Heber City.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
KTMP, Heber City, and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
Bottom of the third inning, Wasatch trailing Spanish Fork 1-0 as Craig McPhee comes up to the plate. Have a lazy fly ball out to the second baseman. Right fielder will come up and make the catch. Tie. Third inning action brought to you by Gravity Coalition, offering the best in bikes, skis, skateboards, snowboards, and more in Heber Valley. Personalized service, sales, and repair for the gear you love. Visit gravitycoalition.com or visit the store out in Midway, Utah. Gravity Coalition, this is a cool shop.
Craig McPhee pops up to the right fielder to start off the bottom of the third. It's 1-0. Wasatch has been shut out now in 9 straight innings against Spanish Fork. Have only scored 10 runs in their last 4 games. Dalton, though, 0.67 ERA. He's a good one on the mound for the Dons, and he gets up 0-1 on the leadoff hitter, Crew Erickson, who singled on an infield single. He's going to chop one to the second baseman. Duvall comes across, throws it wide, but Dart once again able to make the snag and keeps his foot on the bag, and that's 2 away here in the bottom of the third. Man, we saw Duvall and really this whole infield just play so sound yesterday. And they've been able to make the plays, but just some random bad throws.
They're making Dart work for it over there. He's playing a good first base, Ty.
I'm going to bring up Chet Wilson, 0 for 4 in the series, grounded out to his second baseman in his first at bat of the ball game today. Chet hitting from the left-hand side, a junior, 345 batting average. Takes strike one, moves count to 1-1. Kind of a 12-6 over the top delivery from Dalton. Dalton started his windup and then decided he didn't want to pitch. Steps off the back after he'd started it. 1-1 to count with 2 outs. Curveball too far outside, 2-1. Two-1 pitch, swung on but fouled off to the soccer field. Moves the count to 2-2. Mentioned the soccer team 11-3 on the year. Play Springville today for senior night, and that's their last region game, and then they will go to Hillcrest on Tuesday before seeing what the RPI tells them on the 11th. High fastball swung on and missed. That's the second strikeout of the game for Dalton as Wasatch goes down in order. 1, 2, 3, no runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. It's still 1-0 here on 94.5 The Peak.
You might be used to having someone ask you the question, what is it that you need? I think that's limiting. I'm going to take you through a 6-step process, and it's simply answering questions. And it might not just be home. It might be that you want that fancy new car. It might be that you want trips. It's your list. What is it that you really, really want?
Call Tom Stone at Guild Mortgage in Heber City.
Tom Stone, MLS 257849. Guild Mortgage Company is an equal housing lender. MLS 3274. All loans are subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions may apply. Subject to change without notice.
Hi, this is Nicole with Mountain Refined Furnishings and Flooring. And if you didn't know, we've recently partnered with Mattress Warehouse of Utah to bring you the largest selection of mattresses around. The team at Mountain Refined prides themselves on making your home a place where you love to be. We offer a large selection of furnishings, flooring, window treatments, gifts, decor, and so much more. If you haven't been by lately, stop and check it out. You'll be pleasantly surprised. We're located at 480 North Main Street.
This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Wasatch Behavioral Health was founded in 1967 to provide quality mental health care for all individuals within Utah and Wasatch counties. Wasatch Behavioral Health is a comprehensive community behavioral health center offering a wide array of programs and services for children, teens, and adults. It's also senior night for the soccer team today, Ty. Some seniors that are going away. Soren Nilsson, Luke Lundberg, Tanner Wags trying to repeat as state champions. Strike one to Creer, who's the leadoff batter for Spanish Fork. Swing and a miss for strike two on the off speed on the outside part of the plate. Jackson's been good so far, only 2 hits, 5 Ks through 3 innings. 0-2 is going to be his ground ball up the middle and a seeing eye single up the middle for Creer. Has the leadoff guy on for the Dons. Creer having himself a good series, Ty. 2 for 4, also had a hit by pitch yesterday. Was caught stealing after reaching base in his first at bat.
Well, the Spanish MO has been pretty consistent. Bunt. You've seen this here, number 10 for Spanish Fork coming up. And Bringhurst has squared to bunt 3 times already.
going to square to bunt here, but it's a ball on the outside part of the batter's box on the left-hand side. Bringhurst hitting on the right-hand side. Struck out looking in his first at-bat. Takes a peek at the dugout to Coach Gub Nelson. Gub gives the sign, and we're reset with a 1-0 count. Bolender sets. Pickoff move, not in time, over to Career. Zimmerman will throw it back. Spanish has been good this year, tied 20. Erickson comes all the way in. It's going to be bunted down the first base side, too far down the first base side, and that'll bring up the count 1-1.
Well, it should be an easy defensive adjustment for Wasatch. Wilson coming in that hard, has the third base side, and Bolender can bounce off and quickly cover the first base side with Zimmerman being able to stay home. And knowing where you're going there should make it easy for Wasatch on a poor bunt to maybe get the lead runner.
1-1 is going to be bunted again. This time it's up in the air. Cole Zimmerman almost has a chance. 1-2 the count with nobody out here in the top of the fourth. Wasatch trails 1-0 on the Doria's Dental scoreboard. Both pitchers looking good so far. 2 hits apiece for both pitchers. One walk in the game for Bolender. 2 looks, the 1-2 pitch, swung on, a double play opportunity. Bucad will step on the bag, throw it to first place. Nice 6-3 double play for Bucad to Cole Zimmerman, and we've got 2 away here in the top of the fourth.
He's really got something, Tyler. He makes that look so easy, and it's his footwork. He's just quick. He sets it up very well. That ball wasn't as easy for him to take himself. It was kind of a little bit in the in-between land. But he just has such a good feel for the game that he got over to the bag and then threw a dart over there and got the runner by about 15 to 20 feet over there on the first baseline.
Cloward will take ball 1. He walked. He's the lone walk in the ball game for either team. 0 for 1 in the series with a couple of sacrifice RBI flies yesterday in the ball game that proved to be the difference in the 2-0 victory. Curveball here swung on and fouled off. Yeah, to get technical on the infield side of things, Ty, what Carter and Chet have done a good job. Sometimes when you're playing on the left side of the infield, you have a tendency to kind of float to first base before the ball gets there. And what those two do so well is coming through the baseball and then moving the feet and getting the ball over to first base after fielding it. And you saw it there, Ty. You're going to be in a hurry to get to second base. And so oftentimes the younger player will field that ball to the right-hand side. They'll take their eye off it and it bounces off their glove. Carter comes through it and then gets to the bag and then throws it over to first base. Really technically sound. Swung on and missed there by Cloward. Moves the count to 1-2 with 2 outs. Bolender into the windup. The 1-2 check swing foul. Went with a curveball. I think he's lucky, Ty, that was a check swing.
Ty, this Spanish Fork team, you brought up their record 20-3 overall, but a closer look just to get to know the opponent a little bit more. I'll finish this off when we come back as Bolender gets his 6th strikeout there on an outside breaking pitch, Tyler. But this Spanish Fork team's pretty close to being undefeated. We'll break that down a little bit more when we come back.
Yeah, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Wasatch still down 1-0 going into the bottom of the fourth.
Heber City Point S is locally owned and operated by Larry Rhodes and Brad Hyatt. They offer the best brand tires at low prices with extensive knowledge and experience of repair and services with no pressure sales. Only what you need. They've been taking care of cars, trucks, and trailers for over 20 years. No appointment needed, conveniently located, free shuttle service, and free Wi-Fi. Take $5 off your next visit when you tell them 94.5 The Peak sent you over. That's Heber City Point S.
Gucci Goo Barbecue in Heber Valley is a premier barbecue restaurant. You can choose from finger-licking ribs, poppin' andouille sausage, tasty chicken, tender brisket, delicious pork, and yummy street tacos. Friday night dates, take that significant other for the smoked prime rib that melts in your mouth. Family-friendly atmosphere where everyone is welcome. Quick stay on Main Street.
Wasatch High School Sports is on the radio.
Bottom of the 4th inning at Wasatch High School. Can't get through that thought, Tyler's Peyton Swap has a hard single back up the middle on the first pitch. But it's time for a Doria's Dental scoreboard update. If you're just joining us, senior night at Wasatch High School. Wasatch is trailing Spanish Fork 1-0 heading into the bottom of the 4th inning. Spanish Fork 20-3 on the year. All 3 losses coming by 1 run. Once to number 2 Lehigh 7-6. They lost to Coronado, which is a team out of Henderson, Nevada, 4-3 in extra innings. And then they had a tight 2-1 loss to Salem Hills. They're that close to being undefeated. Wasatch is giving them a run here. The 1-0 is your score in the 4th inning. And that update brought to you by Dorius Dental. Doctors Dorius and Proctor take pride in making your mouth smile. For more information, visit DoriusDental.com.
You can tell on that swing, Ty, that Peyton's back still bothering him. It was a good barrel up the middle for a single, but running down that line, and they're actually going to pinch run for him. They're going to have Garrett Baxter, one of the seniors on this baseball team, will come in to pinch run. Suffered an elbow injury during the, what was that, the Salem game?
Mm-hmm.
The Salem game, and hasn't been able to go back on the mound. Jackson Bolender at the plate. We'll see what behind, actually out of the ballpark, but behind the backstop. Moves count to 0-1.
That's a good pitch as a pitcher. When you see the hitter square around, you kind of want to throw it high and inside and see if you can get the batter to freeze a little bit, and he did. Bolender kind of looked like he was locked in on probably a pitch that he would like to pull back on. But it was a good pitch, good spot.
0-1. Bollender's going to square again. It's going to be a pickoff move, not in time. Baxter will get back to the bag easily. Wasatch trails 1-0, bottom of the fourth. It's been 10 straight innings now against Spanish Fork where Wasatch has failed to score. Dalton throwing well for the Dons today, but Wasatch with the leadoff single thanks to Peyton Swap. Has leadoff guy on. Bolender will square. High. Back pick. Not in time at first base, so 1-1 count with the runner still at first base. Ty, the boys lacrosse team improved to above 500 with a 16-1 victory over Payson. They're now 7-6, 4-0 in region play. They've won 5 straight games. Caleb Taylor, 4 goals and 3 assists in that game yesterday against Payson. Bolender squares again on the 1-1. He's going to get this one down right back to the pitcher. Pitcher is just going to go ahead and go to first base. Gets Bolender out at first base, but does move the runner to second on the sacrifice bunt, and that brings up Cole Zimmerman, who grounded out at the second baseman in his first at-bat. 0 for 3 in the series with the walk.
Yeah, good enough on that bunt there, Tyler. Pitcher was tempted to turn and fire that to second base, and he had a chance if he wanted to do it, but instead he made the conservative play and said, we're going to make sure we take one out. But Baxter was only about halfway by the time he fielded that ball.
Okay speed from Garrett Baxter at second base. Cole Zimmerman will takes ball 1. Jack Bluth on deck for the Wasps. Dalton taking his time, gets the sign, takes one look at Baxter. Baxter, an okay lead at second base. The 1-1 swung on, was on time, but fouls it straight back, moves count to 1-1. Have Zimmerman, Bluth, and Stocking with 1 out and a duck on the pond to try to tie this ball game up and push the first run across of the series. Curveball misses high and outside, moves the count to 2-1. Girls lacrosse team got a huge win yesterday. Payson was undefeated, but the Wasps come away with a 10-9 victory. Grace Erker had 6 goals, and Sophia Nelson had the other 4 goals. They'll play at they play at home tomorrow. Curveball too far outside again, moves the count to 3-1. So both lacrosse teams playing well right now. Both will take on Springville tomorrow. 3-1, 1 out, runner on second base for the Wasps. Cole Zimmerman at the plate. Dalton delivers the 3-1, another curveball, and he misses again. And that's going to put runners on first and second. Looked like they were kind of pitching around that a little bit, Ty. Dalton's been attacking with the fastball, decided to go with the curveball. And that's going to bring up now Jack Bluth with runners on first and second. Had a decent barrel in his first at bat to the right fielder. He's 0 for 4 in the series, by hitting above 300 on the season.
I'm not sure this is the guy you want to pitch around to get to, though, Tyler. Bluth has had a couple really good barrels, no hits to show for it, but in the first 1+ games of this series, he's put a couple good swings on the ball. Feels like he's due to find a hole out there.
First and second, okay speed at both base pass. He'll take strike 1. Wanted it. He'll step out of the box, reset with an 0-1 count. Wasatch got robbed of a run in the first inning. The ground ball to the first baseman. Looked like Jackson Bolender beat out the play that would have brought in Crew Erickson. Instead, the umpires disagreed, and Wasatch remains at 0 runs. Jack swings at one a little bit high and outside, frustrated with himself again as it goes foul, and that moves the count to 0-2.
Curious to see Peyton Swap if you've got a first series tournament that's about to start next Saturday, and Monday. Oh, geez, Ty got that call back right there on a ground ball from Bluth.
Yeah, that ball was spiked off the turf, went about 30 feet in the air, came back down. The Dalton pitcher, Dalton, fielded it, kind of slipped and threw it to first base. Looked to be in time, but instead the umpire calls him safe, and that's going to load the bases for Kelson Stocking, who had a nice barrel over to the right field side.
How do you feel about makeup calls? Do you think that was a makeup call there, Ty?
Right, I don't know if it's a makeup call or not, but you can't, because then you're constantly trying to keep score in your mind. You can't do it. I don't know if you saw the big deal this week was, can't even remember who the pitcher was, but he was upset with a strike call or a ball call. And after the inning, he was going to the umpire to let him know let him have a piece of his mind. And the umpire looked at him, patted his chest, and said, "Hey, my bad." And they both went separate. It doesn't make it necessarily better, but at the same time, it's a little bit less contentious, and you kind of calm the situation down. Ball one to Kelson Stocking. Dalton having a little bit of a hard time finding the zone. Walked Cole Zimmerman. That was his first walk of the game. Again, a single to right field for Kelson Stocking. He's 1 for 3 in the series, has 6 RBIs on the year. Fastball low and inside, ball 2. 7 RBIs on the year for Stocking. Dalton taking a little bit of time, and this is actually going to earn a trip to the mound from the pitching coach for Spanish Fork. This trip to the mound brought to you by Mirror Lake Station, voted best donuts in Utah. The Mirror Lake Station is your stop for gas, groceries, and goodies. New owners David and Kristen Wade invite you to swing by and say hello.
Well, bases loaded, 1 out. See if Wasatch can get some runs across the board here.
Yeah, pretend you're the pitching coach here for Spanish Fork, Ty. What are you saying to your pitcher right now with bases loaded, 1 out?
Well, I think traditionally what you do is the scouting report. You start looking down the lineup. This isn't just about Kelson, although Kelson you would have pegged as a double play opportunity. And so you'd say we got to come back with a fastball, but we want to put this in a spot where we can get a ground ball double play. And so hard, maybe down on the inside is where you want to go. And then you're looking at 8-9, which if you're looking at the numbers, neither of these players are threatening for Wasatch here.
2-0 pitch is in there for strike 1.
And they do. They come right back down inside on that with a fastball, Tyler. And now you're back in business. Probably going to come with a fastball here again, but you've got some options at play.
2-1 pitch is elevated. I don't think it's going to be deep enough, though. It's shallow center field. This is actually in kind of infield fly territory. Center fielder makes the catch. Baxter is going to have to stay at third base, and Dalton gets the outs he needs with 1 out. Moves the outs to 2. Bases are still loaded for the sophomore shortstop, Carter Bucad. 0 for 3 in the series with a strikeout, .213 batting average coming into today. Does have 8 RBIs on the year. Takes a look at Coach Jacobson. It's going to take a base knock here from Carter Bucad to get a run in. Cole Zimmerman with decent speed, but the left fielder playing really shallow. In fact, the whole outfield playing shallow here for Spanish Fork. It'll be tough to get Cole in on a hit right to an outfielder. Swung on first pitch, fouled off. Reset at 0-1.
I like Carter jumping on that pitch there, Tyler. Again, bases loaded, nowhere to put you. The tendency of the pitcher is going to be to come back with a fastball. And that ball was elevated. Carter just missed it. Didn't get quite on time.
0-1 pitch. Good job there from bases loaded, 2 outs. Wasatch trails 1-0, trying to get their first run of the series here in the bottom of the 4th. The 1-1. Swung on. Just missed that one as it goes straight back to the backstop. Moves the count to 1-2. Fork has been in. They've been able to get out of it so far. We'll see if Carter Bucad can win the battle with 2 strikes. 1-2. Swung on, and it's going to be a base knock down the right field line. 1 run comes in. Cole Zimmerman's waved around as well. He'll be safe, and Wasatch takes the 2-1 lead on the 2-out RBI single from the sophomore Carter Bucad.
Good piece of hitting there, Tyler. Down 0-2, outside pitch. Didn't try to do too much with it. In fact, his swing right before was a little bit of a pull-off swing where he would have pounded it to the shortstop had he made contact. That time he stayed disciplined with the hands inside out and drives over the first baseman's head. Really good approach from the number 8 hitter. That's a big-time hit for Wasatch to finally break through in the 11th inning of the series, getting their first runs.
Takes the lead 2-1. Still 2 outs with runners now on first and third as Jack Bluth advanced from first to third on the base knock. Trey McPhee up, the number 9 hitter for the Wasps. He'll swing at the first pitch, fouls it off behind the backstop right on top of us in the scores booth. 0-1 to count. Good barrel there from Bucad, gives Wasatch 2-1 lead. Those runs brought to you by Wasatch Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine, your rehabilitation specialist dedicated to your total recovery from sports injuries, auto injuries, industrial and or commercial injuries. Another fly ball from Craig McPhee to shallow right field, and that's going to be caught by Duvall. But Wasatch able to take the lead. 2 runs on 2 hits, 3 hits. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors. 2 runners are left on base as Wasatch takes the 2-1 lead here on 94.5 The Peak.
Dan Sluga at Wasatch Back Flooring is extending his services to include quality paint products to complete your home remodeling needs. Locally owned and operated, Dan and his team can help you find the right flooring for your home with quality products from Mohawk, Shaw, Target, Godfrey Hirst, and many more. Since 2009, they've been exceeding their customers' needs by helping them select flooring that fits both their lifestyle and budget. They've got you covered at Wasatch Back Flooring and Paint.
Wasatch Back Grill and Deli is a family-owned and operated business serving great food and customer service in Heber City and Midway for over 7 years. For a burger with kick, try the Firehouse. Have a hankering for some seafood? Try fish and chips. Or try the Mandarin chicken salad. Their homemade recipes, freshly grilled burgers and sandwiches are complemented with unique sauces and homemade sides. They provide the best experience and highest quality food. Stop by today and try their great menu items. As a thank you to teachers, first responders, medical personnel, and military, get 15% off meals all year round.
Wasatch High School Sports is on the radio.
5th inning action brought to you by Guild Mortgage. Tom Stone and his team stop on in today to get educated, to find out what is the perfect mortgage that fits your situation. Painless and easy. And you just feel smarter after you leave the Tom Stone office. You've been over there, I think, this week, Ty, right?
Yeah, you feel smarter, and at the same time, you feel like, I don't know as much as this man. Like, it's good that I've talked to him, but they do a great job over there helping you see different angles, educate you on your options, and a very, very stress-free environment when you go over there.
Well, Wasatch took 10 innings, but they finally pushed 2 across in the bottom of the 4th to take the 2-1 lead here in the top of the 5th inning. It's going to be the number 9 hitter, Assay. He's going to hit a lazy line drive to the third baseman. Chet Wilson makes the grab, and we have 1 away here in the top of the 5th.
Hey, Chet's got to be feeling good to finally get involved. He hasn't had a lot of action his way in this series so far, but good for him for staying engaged and ready for what was actually a pretty awkward line drive. Not a hard line drive, kind of a floater. But he stayed with it the whole way and watched it in, got the easy out.
He's going to bring up the leadoff hitter, Dart, after going 2 for 3 yesterday with 3 barrels. He struck out twice today. He'll take a curveball outside on ball 1 to lead off his 3rd at bat. 2 for 5 in the series, 382 on the year. Fastball swung on and fouled off, moves count to 1-1.
That was a challenge pitch there. Dart was not looking curveball early on, and Bolender didn't have it near the zone enough to entice him, and he came back fastball. Dart was hunting that fastball, but Bolender had the superior pitch.
1-1, tries to go curveball again on the outside, but too far outside. 2-1. Bolender here in the 2-1, tries to go outside again, too far low and outside. 3-1 now, trying to be careful here with Dart.
It was again a breaking pitch, and so this is actually pretty good strategy, just not necessarily executing as well as he would like. Trying to keep Dart off balance. He hasn't seen multiple breaking pitches in a row this whole series.
Second walk of the game for Jackson Bolender as that fastball's low and outside, and Dart reaches base with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Brings up Duvall, who's got 1 of 3 hits for Spanish Fork in the day. Singled through the 3-4 hole in his first at bat. Flew out to right field on a good barrel in his last at bat. Currently 3 for 5 in the series, hitting .400 coming into today.
Tendency for Spanish has been to not bunt with 1 out and a runner on first. See if they want to move it over for a crack with the 3-hitter.
Does square, kind of a drag bunt look, but the ball's too far low. Is ball 1. Wouldn't be surprised to see Duvall try to steal here as well. Dart. Duvall stole a base in the first inning and then ended up scoring on an error to the left fielder. That's how Spanish Fork has gotten their lone run. Duvall gets a hold of this one. It's going to push Crew Erickson back. Makes the play at the warning track. What a play by Crew Erickson in center field, as that pushed him all the way back about 375.
Yeah, there's not many parks that ball is not out on, Tyler. Spanish Fork and Wasatch are 2 of the parks where Duvall's not going to get a home run on that ball. But he hit that thing really, really deep, probably 380 by the time it lands. And that's not an easy play. That's a pretty challenging area where Crew is coming into that center field fence as it kind of starts to slope down into the warning track.
Romero's going to swing at the first pitch fastball, fouls it straight back. Outfield playing deep against Romero, trying to take away the doubles here, or at least a three-bagger that would score a run from first base. Dart with good speed at first. 2 outs. Romero on the day flew out to right field, struck out. He's 1 for 4 in the series with a double yesterday. 1 strike, comes back with another fastball and gets him to foul that one off as well. 2 strikes now to Romero. First base coach for Spanish Fork was literally on the field there. Moves the count to 0-2, 2 outs. The 0-2, Dart goes, pitch on the inside, Stockings throw, not in time as Dart will swipe the bag. Second stolen base of the day for Spanish Fork. And a duck on the pond now for Romero, a 1-2 count. Trying to answer the 2-run inning.
It was a tough pitch to throw out on. Bolender was trying to get Romero on. Kelson Stocking, the right-handed catcher, of course, having to reach across his body to go catch it.
Inside corner. Ooh, Bolender wanted it. That's what he got the strikeout on the last time Romero was up. Doesn't get the call this.
That umpire looked like he was thinking about it himself, Tyler, trying to convince himself of where it was.
That was strike 3. 2-2 the count. Good lead from Dart at second base. The pitch. It's swung on. This one's driven deep to right field, but it curls foul.
A good hitter in Romero. Again, we've talked about it. He's committed to play ball at BYU. You don't want to keep showing the same look over and over and over again. At this point, inside may be a dangerous spot to attack because he's seen 3 or 4 straight pitches in there.
The 2-2. Swung on, ground ball to Cole. Cole backhands it, races to the bag, and Wasatch gets out of the inning. No runs on no hits, no errors. 1 runner is left on base, and Wasatch still remains up 2-1 as we go into the bottom of the 5th.
Hi, this is Abby Covarrubias, the Wasatch High School Student Body President. Did you know that parents are the #1 reason kids don't drink? Believe it or not, teens still listen to their parents. In fact, kids usually listen to their parents more than anyone else, including their friends. Utah kids report the #1 reason they choose not to drink is their parents' strong disapproval. All kids need a parent's help to stay drug and alcohol free. Brought to you by Wasatch Behavioral Health and the Parent Bonding Project.
Napa know-how.
Your local Napa Auto Parts, Wasatch Auto Parts at 105 North Main Street in Heber City stocks auto parts, tools and equipment, and many other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Stop in today at Wasatch Auto Parts, 105 North Main Street in Heber City, a proud sponsor of Wasatch Wasps Sports.
Napa know-how.
Bottom of the 5th inning where Wasatch leads Spanish Fork 2-1. Senior day at Wasatch High School, and the Wasps would love to match that with a win over #1 Spanish Fork. This 5th inning action brought to you by Guild Mortgage, proud supporter of Wasatch High School athletics. Tom Stone at Guild Mortgage and his team will help you find the perfect mortgage that fits your situation. It will be painless and easy. That's Guild Mortgage.
Wasatch leads 2-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. 6 outs away from tying up this series. They've been able to bounce back every time they lost a game tie. And if you look at the state tournament, it's all about winning a 3-game series. If you can get to that final 8, then that's kind of anybody's game at that point. If you got to win 2 3-game series, and Wasatch has been able to do that consistently through region play. And currently are up 2-1 with the top of the order up here in the bottom of the 5th. Crew Erickson grounded out, singled on an infield single and then grounded out to the second baseman. Fouls off the first pitch here. Dalton entering into the 5th inning. Currently has 58, make it 59 pitches. This pitch is swung on, shallow left center field. Center fielder Creer comes up and makes the catch. And there's 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, that ball looked like it was going to get down for a minute. It kind of found the Bermuda Triangle of the outfield, but the wind is blowing in from left center towards home plate, and so that thing just kind of floated up there and spun, allowed the center fielder enough time to run underneath it.
You bring up Chet Wilson, struck out in his last at bat, grounded out to the second baseman.
Peyton Swap is going to re-enter, Tyler, standing on deck. He got pinch ran for with Garrett.
Or a player, and then reinsert them 1 time. If you do it twice, and that then kills that runner or that player. 1-1 the count after a ball on the outside. The 1-1 now. Another one is up in the zone, moves the count to 2-1.
You know, the terminology you use there, if you're not familiar with baseball, that sounds pretty aggressive. You know, kills that player, Ty. It just means they're done for the day, of course.
2-1, low and outside, moves the count to 3-1. Dalton has only thrown 21 innings on the year, Tyler, and so you wonder if his stamina is there. He looks a little bit fatigued the last 2 innings. But the bullpen for Spanish Fork is excellent as well. The 3-1. Swung on and barely missed. It'll be fouled off behind the backstop. Fills up the count at 3-2.
You know, I find it interesting looking, though, at this Spanish Fork team. 20-3, you'd think you'd have some eye-popping wins on the board. And when you go up and down their schedule, Tyler, only 2 10-run ball games for the Dons so far this year.
3-2 pitch is swung on, pushes the left fielder back a little bit, but the left fielder will settle underneath the fly ball, and that's out number 2.
Actually, let me amend that. Sorry, there have been 3. They 10-run Syracuse earlier in the season in their first preseason tournament, and then they got Springville just recently where they won by 14 runs in that one tie, and then they had one more at 10-run over Provo. But they haven't won, you know, out of those 17 wins. They've actually stayed pretty tight for the most part. So these pitchers have had to kind of go by committee and work it out in these games.
So Peyton Swap was set to be up, but it's going to be Gutierrez who will be the pinch hitter now for the Wasps. He'll swing at the first pitch and foul it off into the Spanish Fork side. Gutierrez on the year. Batting average is dipped of late. .233 batting average now on the year. 2 doubles and 4 RBIs. 0 for 1 yesterday. Takes ball 1 on the second pitch, moves the count to 1-1. Jackson Bolender on deck for the Wasps.
Now testing the rules here, the knowledge tie. Does that burn Peyton Swap for the rest of the day?
No.
So he could still re-enter for Gutierrez, even though he's the second guy to go into that spot.
You got 1 re-enter, so you can make as many substitutions as you want in that spot, and you can still re-enter. That pitch is fouled off as well, so that moves the count to 1-2. Dalton into the windup, delivers. Swung on, pushed foul down the left field line. Resets at 1-2.
This looks like an Alex Gutierrez at bat already, doesn't it? Just fouling off pitches when you get to 2 strikes, making the pitcher work extra hard to get that out.
1-2, swung on again and fouled off.
Alex needs to be given an award at the end of this year that's just the foul ball master. You know, he's had in his last couple games that he's been in the lineup, he's gone 8+ pitches 3 times. And now in this one already, this is pitch number 5.
Curveball outside, too far outside, sets it at 2-2.
He's just effective at making the pitchers work a little bit harder, working up that pitch count. Even if it doesn't turn into a hit, it's quality at bat.
Deuces, and there's a sing-eye single up the middle for Alex Gutierrez. He'll extend the inning with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Going to bring up Jackson Bolender as Gutierrez gets his first single and a batsman and had a sacrifice bunt in his second at bat. He's 0 for 3 in the series with a walk. Wind blowing from right field to left field right now. Nice day, though, here at Wasatch High School. Softball hosting their senior night as well as the Wasatch baseball team. First pitch of the at-bat. Swung on, fouled off to the right side. Will reset with 1 strike, no balls.
Pretty aggressive hack there from Jackson. Kind of went with the new phrase launch angle, trying to elevate that ball a little bit, see if he could hit a gap. But the way Spanish Fork is playing, Tyler, you're going to have to hit it in the perfect spot or over the fence to get it over their heads. Center fielder playing extremely deep on Bolender right now.
He's going to swing at this one. That's another single. So back-to-back singles for the Wasps. Takes a good bounce. You never know when the bounce is going to go in the outfield, but it takes a good bounce. So Wasatch will keep runners at first and second. Gutierrez at second. Jackson Bolender at first. And that'll bring up Cole Zimmerman with a duck on the pond for Cole. He walked in his last at-bat, but back-to-back singles here with 2 outs. Nice barrel again there from Bolender. He's had good swings in the series. See if Cole Zimmerman can come up with another double here. Speed up runner will be Tad Sulcer, the junior. He'll speed up for Jackson Bolender, the pitcher. Cole Zimmerman will step in the box, the junior. 328 batting average, 0 for 3 in this series with a couple of walks. He'll swing at the first pitch, right on it, just moves it right back to the backstop. 1 strike. Softball struggling a little bit. Last I checked, down 7-0 to the #1 team in 5A. Wasatch baseball up 2-1 on the number 1 team in 5A. Cole, 0-1, swung on and missed. That ball was a little bit out of the zone and up. 2 strikes now on Cole.
And I think Cole knew it. That swing didn't look totally confident all the way through. It looks like he was trying to hold himself up, but he had already engaged, and so he just couldn't stop himself.
2 strikes, too far outside. They're going to try to pick off Gutierrez at second. It's going to go off of Gutierrez's helmet. Doesn't bounce far enough away, and we'll keep both runners at first and second with a 1-2 count. Alex getting a big lead at second base, trying to get a good jump to score on any hit.
But about the perfect lead. He would have been back there even if that ball was caught clean, Ty. And that's not a bad thing to do. You draw a throw, and you can get balls that bounce away in awkward ways and keep that pressure on the other team. Alex doing a good job applying some extra pressure here.
Tad an okay lead at first base as well. Cole Zimmerman sets the 1-2. Swung on, fouled off down the left field line, goes out of play as Cole survives once again, resets at 1-2.
A win today, Ty, would guarantee an above 500 record for this Wasatch baseball team. It may not sound like much, but when this team started as cold as they did, and cold might even be the wrong word, but they did start 1-7, lost 5 heartbreakers in the last inning. That's an impressive record. After that, to go at this point, it would make them 12-4 with 1 more game pending.
Another pitch high and outside, but Cole doing a good job of protecting the plate, fouls that one off into the soccer field. And another pitch here with a 1-2 count. See if Cole can win the battle. Wasatch's bats have been better here in today's game. 2-1 the score. It's a curveball. Cole's going to swing, goes off the hands. Good pitch there from Dalton. He'll field it, throw it over to first base, and Spanish Fork gets out of the inning. No runs on 2 hits, no errors. 2 are left on base as Wasatch still leads 2-1 here on 94.5 The Peak.
Hi, friend. Are you ready for your next delicious meal? Come to the Dairy King, home of the train, where they're serving the yummiest food to friends and family in the valley. Come in and get a mouth-watering peach shake, peach cobbler shake, or peach raspberry shake. Dairy King, the winner of the Best of State for 18 years. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary. Bring a picture and a memory of being at Dairy King. Proudly serving the Heber Valley for 75 years. The Dairy King, home of the train, is serving deliciousness daily. Stop in today.
Timberline Ace Hardware is your full-line Benjamin Moore paint store. Visit them for your home projects, business-to-business, and contractor needs. And remember to ask about their delivery services. And they're looking for some cashiers. Apply today. And get your Carhartt wear, your cool outdoor clothing, and Wrangler jeans. Timberline Ace Hardware.
This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
6th inning action brought to you by Wasatch Back Grill and Deli, a family-owned and operated business that has been serving great food and customer service in Heber City and Midway for the past 7 years. Tyler, you mentioned the record for this year's team, 12-11 currently. A win today would move them to 13-11. This is the first year under Coach Jacobson, and thought it'd be interesting to kind of look back at Wasatch history of where other first-year coaches had done. Coach Scholl came in and had that legendary 10-0 region record, 19-5 first season for the Wasps. Lou Green took over when Wasatch was kind of a little bit down, had a 6-17 first year, 4-8 in region play, took 5th in region. When I took over, we went 11-16, 6-9 in region play, and took 4th, made the playoffs that year. And now Coach Jacobson 12-11, 9-4 in region play, and has clinched the second seed in region 9, or second place finish. Good pitch is swung on here, right to Jack Bluth. Jack Bluth comes across, makes a good play in left center field. Jack Bluth's played well out there since the drop in the first inning. That was a good barrel there from Dart. Wasatch makes a good play in the outfield to beat it, and that's 1 away here in the 6th.
Yeah, that ball was actually tailing back pretty hard, Tyler. I thought that ball off the bat might get down in the gap, but it caught, the left-handed slice coming back. Bluth did a good job of reading it, as it easily could have kind of whipped around, but he stayed with it and was able to make a good play.
This one's not going to be caught, though, as Dalton, the pitcher, helping him. Bluth gets over there. The pitchers, Tyler, have been the hitters for Spanish Fork in this series. Yesterday, Cloward with both RBIs when he was on the mound, and now Dalton with a 2-bagger here in the top of the 6th inning. Puts a duck on the pond for Spanish Fork.
Hey, though, if you're Wasatch here, you feel confident in Jackson Bolender's ability to get outs. And it's a good sign to you that Spanish is swinging early in the count. Bolender came into this inning at 80 pitches, Already 2 batters through, and it's only been 3 more pitches. He's got an out on the board. See if Wasatch can keep getting early outs.
Duck on the pond for Creer. Creer singled in his last at bat. He'll swing in the first pitch at well. It's going to be driven back to Crew Erickson, who will make the catch. And, man, Crew's arm, it looks good, as that is a fireball at third base. He keeps the runner at second base. And that's now 2 away here in the top of the 6th. It's going to bring up the third baseman, Bringhurst.
Well, and he showed it off yesterday, so now you're seeing some things come into play. Wouldn't have been a wise move for Spanish to go there anyway, regardless of who's in the outfield. But yesterday, Crew made a play and turned and threw a laser from right center to third base, and you know Spanish Fork remembered that, didn't want to challenge that arm.
After giving up the double, back-to-back outs on 2 pitches, and Wasatch gets out of the 6th. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Wasatch leads 2-1 as we go into the bottom of the 6th.
The 50s produced some great sound. That early rock and roll triggered so much emotion for so many. Here's another sound from that era. The dental drill triggers a whole different set of emotions. The sounds, the smells, feeling out of control, whatever keeps you from the dentist at Dorius Dental, we get it. We focus on the little things. Distract yourself with your favorite episode of The Office, or crank up the 80s or 90s and let it take you back to another time. At Dorius Dental, we are sensitive to your needs. We are taking care of the little things so you can move on to more enjoyable things. Located in Gateway Plaza, Heber City.
You might be used to having someone ask you the question, what is it that you need? I think that's limiting. I'm going to take you through a 6-step process, and it's simply answering questions. And it might not just be home. It might be that you want that fancy new car. It might be that you want trips. It's your list. What is it that you really, really want?
Call Tom Stone at Guild Mortgage in Heber City.
Tom Stone, MLS 257849. Guild Mortgage Company is an equal housing lender. MLS 3274. All loans are subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions may apply. Subject to change without notice. This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Brought to you by Mirror Lake Station, voted best donuts in Utah. Stop on into Mirror Lake Station today, where they've got gas, groceries, goodies, and more. Located in Camas, Utah.
Jack Bluth will come up to the plate. He had an infield single in his last at bat, flew out to right field. He's going to try drag bunt, takes a strike on the inside corner. Pretty good pitch there from Dalton. Dalton currently sitting at pitch number 81. We have Jack Bluth, Kelson Stocking, Carter Bucad up for the Wasps here in the bottom half of the 6th with a 2-1 lead. Jack won. Put the coaching hat on, Ty, as Wasatch approaches the state tournament. If you had to choose between your pitching staff being as best as they've been all year or your bats, which would you choose going into the state tournament?
Oh, Ty, that's a good question.
Ground ball here to the second baseman, who fields it, throws it to first base. Jack Bluth hustles down the line, but the throw is in time, and there's 1 away here in the bottom of the 1st. Bottom of the 6th.
I've become a bit of a pitching snob, and so I'd like to say pitching. But in those state tournament games, you don't get a lot of wins 2-1. It usually turns into a bit of a slugfest, Ty, and I do think you need to get the bats going to have success. But it's really twofold, and so I'm going to cheat on the answer. The early part of the state tournament, to find success, you've got to have good pitching, because you can't deplete yourself early on and expect to make a deep run. And so you've got to be good early, but the bats have to be hot enough that they can carry you when you get to the bottom end of your bullpen.
Pitching will keep you in every game, right? Like, you're going to have a chance in every game with good pitching. But you can say the same thing about hitting, right? You give up 3 and you know your bats can get you back into a game. Kelson Stocking comes up. He'll take ball 1 and now strike 1, moves the count to 1-1.
Well, it becomes so much more interesting with a 3-game series and how they've set it up so that you can't use the same pitcher twice in the series. And so it does become a little bit more about hitting, Tyler, because you want to chase into the bullpen. If you don't even win the first game, say you can get 5 or 6 runs on the board, though. You're
in his second at bat, 1 for 4 now in the series. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Nice swing there, fouls it off.
Well, it's amazing, because now Dalton is actually ahead of Bolender in the pitch count. He's at 89 already, Tyler. Bolender only at 85, 58 pitches. And I want to put an important moment on Alex Gutierrez. He got down 1-2 with 2 outs in the last inning, and after that, Wasatch saw 13 additional pitches as Gutierrez fouled off a couple pitches and then got a single. Then Bolender got a single, and Zimmerman fouled off a few pitches before grounding out. And you didn't get a run, but you still added 13 pitches, and Dalton's to the point where he's pushing the limits here in this one.
Pitch in there. Ooh, the catcher thought it was strike 3. Instead, it's ball 3. I missed one. I thought it was 1-2. Now the count is full. So that fills up the count. We now have a full count with 1 out. Payoff pitch. Swung on. It's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. Dart comes through it, fields it, throws it across the diamond in time. 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Brings up right now the hero of the day for the Wasps. Single down the right field line for a 2 RBI single was Bucad in his last at bat. 1 for 4 in the series. Now has 10 RBIs on the year. Played a good shortstop as well. Turned a double play today. He'll take strike 1 on the inside corner. Nice pitch there from Dalton. On deck is Craig McPhee. The 0-1, a little up in the zone, moves the count to 1-1. Up on deck for the Dons will be 8-9-1. This pitch above Bucad's head moves the count to 2-1.
Wasatch has had their fair share of opportunities to face the number 1 team of the state. But the last time they beat the number 1 team of the state was number 1 Spanish Fork in 2014 here at home. See if they can have a little bit of deja vu in this one. 3 outs to go as Bucad flies out to center field.
Yeah, no runs on no hits, no errors as Wasatch goes down in order. 1, 2, 3. And Wasatch will have the top of the 7th with a 2-1 lead to try to get the victory here on 94.5 The Peak.
Hi, this is Nicole with Mountain Refined Furnishings and Flooring. And if you didn't know, we've recently partnered with Mattress Warehouse of Utah to bring you the largest selection of mattresses around. The team at Mountain Refined prides themselves on making your home a place where you love to be. We offer a large selection of furnishings, flooring, window treatments, gifts, decor, and so much more. If you haven't been by lately, stop and check it out. You'll be pleasantly surprised. We're located at 480 North Main Street.
Heber City Point S is locally owned and operated by Larry Rhodes and Brad Hyatt. They offer the best brand tires at low prices with extensive knowledge and experience of repair and services with no pressure sales. Only what you need. They've been taking care of cars, trucks, and trailers for over 20 years. No appointment needed, conveniently located, free shuttle service, and free Wi-Fi. Take $5 off your next visit when you tell them 94.5 The Peak sent you over. That's Heber City Point S. This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Top of the 7th, Gucci Goo Barbecue. From the words of Gucci Goo's customers, the barbecue is super good. The nachos and sundae were amazing and definitely ate more than we should have. The combination of good meat, sauces, and texture made this absolutely amazing. I will definitely be back here again. Wasatch 3 outs away from upsetting the number 1 team in 5A. Jackson Bolender, 6 innings pitched, has given up a run. It was not earned. And half-ice flies. DHing today was the winning pitcher yesterday. He's going to swing at the 1-0, fouled off, and moves count to 1-1.
8-9-1 to end it. It's a nice setup here for Wasatch. You'd like to face the bottom of the lineup here with your ace, and then maybe get the best hitter of Spanish out to win it.
Curveball, it's going to be a ground ball to the second baseman. Craig McPhee can't handle it, and it's going to bounce away from him, and the first guy is on after the ground ball that is not fielded clean, and the leadoff guy's on for Spanish Fork. It's going to bring up the center fielder, Asay, also a senior. He had a single to the shortstop, an infield single in his first at-bat, lined out to the third baseman in his second at-bat. Pinch runner will come into the game, number 27 for Spanish Fork. 27 is Lamson. Has scored 6 times, a sophomore in the pinch run role. Asay, the left fielder, up for Spanish Fork Dons. Expect probably a bunt here, Ty, with...
I would guess that, yeah. I think that's probably the move here for Spanish Fork. Although we'll see what kind of wheels they're bringing in, Ty.
That's true.
Could go a Dave Roberts type still moment here on this pinch runner. Who was the runner? Did you catch the name?
Yeah.
I was
Lamson.
I was
Lamson,
over
number
here
27.
tweeting, so 27.
Number 27,
right.
Lamson. Here we go, foul territory. That was fouled by about an inch, and we'll reset again with 1 strike. Chase Adams, the pitcher, in that game threw an absolute gem to beat Spanish Fork back in 2014 here on this field. We were up in Morgan at a sophomore game, I believe, that day.
Yeah, it was a big moment for Wasatch baseball. That was their first year moving up to the 4A ranks at the time, and that was a win that kind of solidified feeling like they belonged.
0-1, and this is fouled off again. So now 0-2 after back-to-back missed bunts from Asay. That was a pretty good pitch there from Bolender. He went up in the zone, trying to maybe get a pop-up, and Asay couldn't handle it. And now we're set at 0-2. Wasatch already with 1 6-3 double play in the innings. Kelton Stocking going to go out to the mound and visit. This pause in the action brought to you by Mirror Lake Station. Best donuts in Utah. Their donut of the month is a key lime donut. Order in advance.
You know, that's an interesting conversation there, Tyler. I wonder if they're talking about a potential pitch to throw on here. Wondering if maybe they'll start the runner.
0-2, runner goes back easily on the pickoff move back to first base.
Last time you got to 0-2 and Spanish didn't convert. They did eventually put the runner in motion.
The 0-2. Bolender sets, 2 looks. He is squaring again, Ty, on 0-2, and that is a batter out as he is not able to lay down the bunt with 2 strikes. And Spanish fails to move the runner across, and that's 1 out, and that's going to bring up the top of the order. Number 6, Dart, has 2 Ks and a walk in the ballgame. Don't see that too often, but Coach Gum Nielsen wanting to get the bunt down, and Asay not able to do it. 1 away here. Wasatch a double play ball away now from ending this thing. It's going to be tough with Dart, good speed, but also has barreled a lot of balls.
Well, it's a tough lineup coming up. 1, 2, 3, Dart, Duval, and Romero.
Fastball for strike 1. That's pitch number 92. Also keeping an eye on the pitch count. Gage Sheesh is getting loose in the bullpen for the Wasps. Cole Zimmerman also was getting loose. I failed to mention Jackson Sorensen was at first base, one of the seniors, as Cole Zimmerman was getting loose. 0-1-2 Dart. 2 looks. The delivery. Outside corner. No, doesn't get the outside corner. Moves the count to 1-1.
Well, at worst case scenario here, Tyler, Jackson Bolender should have enough pitches to get you through the meat here of this lineup. If things even go wrong, he can get you through the heart of this lineup, and then Wasatch could maybe respond with the bullpen to try to hold on if things don't go ideally here for the Wasps.
Pitch was a good spot, and Kelton Stocking did a really good job of receiving it, but it was low. Moves the count to 2-1. 2-1 count here to Dart. Bolender comes set, delivers the 2-1. Outside corner, no, doesn't get it again. Moves the count.
Yeah, those are borderline, Tyler. They're tight. He's just not getting the benefit of the doubt here. Not sure it's the wrong call. But when you got a pitcher's jam, you see those often called. Didn't get it that time.
3-1 pitch, it's swung on. It's going to be a ground ball down the first base side. Cole Zimmerman, no, Bolender fields it himself, runs to first base and touches the bag. What a play from Jackson Bolender as he fields it cleanly. And with nobody on first base, he touches first. It does move the runner to second, so the tying run is at second base and brings up Duval, and Duval has had Bolender's number today. He's only 1 for 3, but a good barrel to right field and a 380 barrel to center field that Crew Erickson ran down in his last at bat.
Boy, that was a really good play from Jackson Bolender, though. He had to hustle over to that ball and then keeping his eye on Zimmerman while fielding the ball. And he's reading all of this as it's going on with the speedy runner going down the line. And he reads it and says, I'm taking care of this myself. And got down the line and was able to get there to first base. To me, that's experience that shows on that play. You see some senior leadership, and he's just taking control of an intense situation. And you saw the time as his freshman year as well. And there's a little difference. Yesterday you saw Jackson Kelson, who is excellent. He's thrown awesome all year, but there's a little inexperience in the field. And on a bunt ball similar to that, he kind of got caught in between in no man's land. It's just nice to have a senior leader on the mound that's got so much experience like Jackson Bolender in his high school career. This is a fun way to end it, Ty. Let's get the beast of Spanish Fort going against Wasatch's ace for the last several years.
Yeah, Duval's been good, and Romero on deck is good as well. Both 400 hitters, 4 extra base hits on the year for Duval, 9 RBIs. He's 3 for 6 in this series. He's barreled it up 3 straight times. He barreled it through the 3-4 hole, barreled it to right field, trying to get the victory over number 1 Spanish Fork. First pitch, it's swung on to left center field. It's tailing. Jack Bluth's not going to get to it, and that's going to fall. Spanish Fork's going to tie the ball game up on the RBI double. Duvall, no, he's going to try for a three-bagger. He's going to be in there safe. A two-out triple that ties the game in the top of the 7th inning. We mentioned it. Duvall has been on time every single at-bat, and he laced that one to left center field. Jack Bluth couldn't run it down, and it's 2-2 here in the top of the 7th.
Well, and it hurts, Tyler, because both runs for Spanish Fork unearned, both errors that have got pushed across, and that seems to be the Jackson Bolender curse. Last year against Spanish Fork, same thing. 7th inning, an error to lead off the inning, ended up giving them the win. See if he can shut this one down and give Wasatch a chance to walk it off in the 7th.
Goes with a curveball for strike 1 to Romero. Romero flied out to right field. Moves down to 1-1. Explain to me again why the hitters do this step towards the mound thing.
It's a real awkward
like
thing,
fools.
isn't it? They do look a little foolish when they do it, right?
Who's the major
Soto
leaguer
in the major leagues that they're imitating. And
1-1 pitch, swung on deep to center field. Crew Erickson goes to his right, and makes the catch. And Wasatch gets out of the inning, but it's tied ace. It's the bottom of the 7th. We're deadlocked at 2-2 here on 94.5 The Peak.
Gucci Goo Barbecue in Heber Valley is a premier barbecue restaurant. You can choose from finger-licking ribs, poppin' andouille sausage, tasty chicken, tender brisket, delicious pork, and yummy street tacos. Friday night dates, take that significant other for the smoked prime rib that melts in your mouth. Family-friendly atmosphere where everyone is welcome, quick service for dine-in or takeout, great quality food, and great value for your money. That's Gucci Goo in Midway on Main Street.
Dan Sluga at Wasatch Flooring is extending his services to include quality paint products to complete your home remodeling needs. Locally owned and operated, Dan and his team can help you find the right flooring for your home with quality products from Mohawk, Shaw, Target, Godfrey Hirst, and many more. Since 2009, they've been exceeding their customers' needs by helping them select flooring that fits both their lifestyle and budget. They've got you covered at Wasatch Flooring and Paints.
Wasatch Back Grill and Deli is a family-owned and operated business serving great food and customer service in Heber City and Midway for over 7 years. For a burger with kick, try the Firehouse. Have a hankering for some seafood? Try fish and chips. Or try the Mandarin chicken salad. Their homemade recipes, freshly grilled burgers and sandwiches are complemented with unique sauces and homemade sides. They provide the best experience and highest quality food. Stop by today and try their great menu items. As a thank you to teachers, first responders, medical personnel, and military, get 15% off meals all year round.
This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Bottom of the 7th, brought to you by Gravity Coalition, offering the best in bikes, skis, snowboards, skateboards, and more in the Heber Valley. Personalized sales, service, and repair for the gear you love. Gravity Coalition, Midway, Utah, or gravitycoalition.com. This is a cool shop. Craig McPhee, Crew Erickson, Chet Wilson up for the Wasp with the score deadlocked at 2-2. Wasatch needs one run to win this thing and to walk it off.
New pitcher into the game as well for the Dons. Ty, he got him, I think. Oh, no, he didn't.
Number 8 is Dorr. 9 1/3 innings pitched, a 3.94 ERA, 17 Ks. Craig McPhee's going to swing at one a little up and out of the zone, and he'll pop up to the right fielder for the 3rd time today. One away here in the bottom of the 7th. It's going to bring up the top of the order. Dorr, a junior, hasn't hit on the year. Pitcher only, 9 Ks in 9 1/3 innings pitched, a 9.94 ERA. He's given up 6 hits in those 9 innings. Crew Erickson, nice pitch. Ooh, doesn't get the called strike.
He's really tightened up that zone, hasn't he? It's consistent. That's the one that we were saying we wish Bolender would have gotten.
Moves the count to 2-1. Drag on first base in his last at bat. He's 0 for 3 in today's game. Has yet to get a hit in the series. Great speed by Crew at first base. This pitch is swung on. It's elevated to left field. It's too high in left field. Left fielder comes underneath it and makes the grab. 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th. It's going to bring up Alex Gutierrez, who singled up the middle in his last at bat. Alex Gutierrez pinch hitting, or he pinch hit in his last at bat for Peyton Swap. Peyton Swap, well, this spot has generated 2 hits in the game for the Wasps. Big lead at first base. This pitch inside for ball 1.
All season long, so if you're Spanish, you're playing no doubles and thinking you got to get 2 hits in a row to win this one if you're Wasatch.
This one's going to go foul. A diving attempt is not able to come up with the grab, but it is in foul territory. Ty Crew had a heck of a jump on that. He was already rounding third base.
Well, and to finish my thought here, so if you're Wasatch, it's just get the runner over to second any way you can. Base on balls, single, hit by pitch, just whatever way you can get on, and then it takes 1 knock to walk this one off.
This 1-1 pitch swung on and fouled off as well. 1-2 now the count. 2-2, bottom of the 7th. Number 1 Spanish Fork against your Wasatch Wasps. Wasatch gave up 1 run in the top of the 7th that tied the ball game up. Now we're looking at extra innings possibly. The 1-2 is a curveball, too far up, moves count to 2-2. Jackson Bolender on deck, singled up the middle in his last at bat. Crew still not a very big lead. The 2-2 swung on, fouled off again. We'll reset at 2-2. Deuces count, runner on first. Represents the game-winning run. Crew Erickson reached on a drag bunt single, his second infield single of the day. 2-2.
Not a bad time to send him though, Ty.
The pitch. Swung, and it's a good barrel but foul. And again, we'll reset at 2-2. Mr. Foul is coming through.
And the thought process here is not a bad time to send him because you've had several pitches in a row in the zone, and Alex keeps spoiling them. And so either you're going to get a pitch that he can handle and be in play, or the pitcher maybe more often is going to take a gamble and throw a breaking pitch they're not as comfortable with, which is a better one to go on.
Crew does go. It's a swung on pitch, and it's not going to be enough. It's going to pop up to the third baseman. And Wasatch and Spanish Fork are going to extra innings as Wasatch scores no runs on 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. As Wasatch will need to make a pitching change. We'll see what Coach Jacobson decides to go to. 2-2, extra inning action here on 94.5 The Peak.
Hi, this is Abby Covarrubias, the Wasatch High School Student Body President. Did you know that parents are the #1 reason kids don't drink? Believe it or not, teens still listen to their parents. In fact, kids usually listen to their parents more than anyone else, including their friends. Utah kids report the #1 reason they choose not to drink is their parents' strong disapproval. All kids need a parent's help to stay drug and alcohol free. Brought to you by Wasatch Behavioral Health and the Parent Bonding Project.
Napa know-how.
Your local Napa Auto Parts, Wasatch Auto Parts at 105 North Main Street in Heber City stocks auto parts, tools and equipment, and many other items for heavy-duty trucks and marines.
Napa know-how.
This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Extra inning action here on The Peak, brought to you by the Dairy King. Winners of Best in State, proudly serving the Heber Valley since got to get my year right, Ty, kind of make sure, 1946. Gage Sheesh now on the mound for the Wasps. Cray McPhee will come out of the ball game. Tragan Shaw will move to left field. Cole Zimmerman will move to right field. Jackson Bolender goes from the mound to first base. So Jackson Bolender's day is over. 7 innings pitched, 6 Ks, 2 walks. If I count right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits on the day for Spanish Fork. Can't get much even than this, Ty. 2-2. Both hitters, or both teams, have put up 27 hitters in this ball game, exactly. Gage Sheets has been good on the mound lately for the Wasps. He'll start with an off-speed pitch for ball 1. The number 4 hitter, Dart, is up. Flew out to left center field on a good barrel in his last at bat. Another curveball off the mark is 12 2/3 innings. 2-0 fastball, and it's lifted up to left field. It's going to push Tragan Shaw back, but Tragan Shaw comes through, makes the grab. 1 away here in the top of the 8th. Well, Wasatch has been here before. Went to extra innings against Salem Hills. They were able to score in the top half of the 7th. And then Casey Anderson and Gage Sheesh combined. Dart had some words for the Wasatch dugout as he came back.
Well, they probably had some words for him as well, Ty. It's been an electric game so far, and I'm sure it's got a little extra intensity down there on the field.
Fastball in there for strike one here to Dalton. Dalton doubled in his last at bat to left center field. He goes down 0-2 here, though. Dalton, the starting pitcher for Spanish Fork, did not pitch in the last inning. 6 innings pitched for Dalton. Gave up 2 runs. Nice fastball on the outside corner. Ring him up. No, misses on the outside. Moves count to 1-2. 3 straight fastballs from Gage. Doesn't get the third called strike there.
It's safe to say by our shotgun mic down there, the crowd was displeased with that one.
They thought that was
wanted a strike on that.
I'm looking for a thumbs up, thumbs down from Tate Shaw here, who has a better angle on whether that last pitch was a strike or a ball.
You're forgetting we got video replay up here we can watch as well, Tyler. We've got
1-2 pitches fouled off.
The video stream where you can also listen and watch.
1-2 pitch is elevated to right field. Cole Zimmerman's going to come up and make the grab 2 away here in the top of the 8th.
Really good job from Gage so far, Tyler, to come in and just keep challenging the Dons. We talked, I mentioned in the 7th inning, at the top of the 7th, if it didn't go ideally for Wasatch, that Bolender could at least still clear you through the meat of the lineup. And then it gets you to the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hitters for Spanish Fork that have not been as good. Now, Dart has been in the 4 hole. He's a pretty good one, but Gage was able to get him out on the first, and now he's in a pretty good spot to get out of this thing without too much trouble.
Brings up the center fielder, Career. He's going to ground ball to the shortstop. Bucad fields it, throws it across the diamond, and that's a 1-2-3 Wasatch physical therapy inning. No runs on no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base as we move into the bottom of the 8th. Wasatch with now a chance with a run to knock off the Dons.
Hi, friend. Are you ready for your next delicious meal? Come to the Dairy King, home of the train, where they're serving the yummiest food to friends and family in the valley. Come in and get a mouth-watering peach shake, peach cobbler shake, or peach raspberry shake. Dairy King, the winner of the Best of State for 18 years. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary. Bring a picture and a memory of being at Dairy King. Proudly serving the Heber Valley for 75 years. The Dairy King, home of the train, is serving deliciousness daily. Stop in today.
Timberline Ace Hardware is your full-line Benjamin Moore paint store. Visit them for your home projects, business-to-business, and contractor needs. And remember to ask about their delivery services. And they're looking for some cashiers. Apply today. And get your Carhartt wear, your cool outdoor clothing, and Wrangler jeans. Timberline Ace Hardware, located west of the Wasatch Wasp football stadium at 737 South Main Street, serving the Heber Valley for over 50 years.
Wasatch High School Sports is on the radio.
Extra innings here at Wasatch High School, where the Spanish Fork Dons, Wasatch Wasps, are in the bottom of the 8th inning. This action brought to you by Physical at the Fifth Stop, your locally owned and operated physical therapy clinic, serving you from head to toe, including vertigo to sports injuries, serving the Heber Valley for over 40 years.
Jackson Bolender will lead off the inning. Sacrifice bunt, a single, and a ground out is his day at the plate. Takes a curveball for strike 1. 500 batting average on the year for Jackson Bolender. Cole Zimmerman on deck, Jack Bluth in the hole. Curveball too far outside, 1-1. Again on the mound is junior D-O-E-R-R. Doer? It's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. Dart's going to come up on it, backhands it, throws it across the diamond in time. 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th. Cole Zimmerman will come up now, ground out to the second baseman, walked and grounded out to the pitcher in his day-to-day. He's playoff hockey, it's just golden goal. They just keep going until somebody scores, and it took 3 extra periods. So they played 3 periods and then another 3 extra periods before the Penguins finally got
It's a long hockey game.
Got a goal.
Well, there's still one more game to go in this series tomorrow. Wasatch has some options on who they'll come back with. Probably Casey Anderson is the route they'll go. He's been the third starter for Wasatch. But this guy at the plate could also come back and be the starter for you, Cole Zimmerman.
1-1 pitch is fouled off. It'll go out of play.
And I guess I bring that up because if this extends too much longer, one of those two might get the go here today. And you may put one of them on the mound to keep this thing going. Although Gage, he can give you extended innings as well, Tyler. So it'll just be a matter of, can Spanish Fork get to him and make you make a pitching change?
1-2, the count to 2-2.
Yeah, and it's just not good scouting here, Tyler, because Cole Zimmerman.
Tyler 2-2, and he goes the opposite way, and that's a single. Winning run now on first base as Cole Zimmerman singles to the left side. Wasn't exactly in that 5-6 hole. It was a good line drive over baseman's head. Had an infield single in his second at bat, flew out to right field and grounded out to the second baseman in his other 2 at bats. He's 1 for 6 in the series. Cole Zimmerman, okay speed at first base. Jack Bluth, good speed at the plate. Kelson Stocking, who's 1 for 3 at the plate, on deck. Wasatch 2, Spanish Fork 2 in extras. Bottom of the 8th inning. Wasatch scored 2 in the 4th. Spanish scoring 1 in the 1st and 1 in the 7th. Pickoff move not in time over to first base. Fly ball in left field, and then the second one came on a booted ball to the second baseman. Another pickoff move, not in time again.
I find it interesting, though, is how sometimes the game just kind of works itself out, Tyler. You've been making fun of me off air of how emotional I was in that first inning when Bolender
That's right.
clearly was safe and should have had a run. But I feel like the 2 runs they got with Bucad, the runner that was standing on second base was a missed call on a safe call that really was wrong. And so Wasatch ended up getting a second run on a Bucad hit that probably should have only been 1 because of a blown call in that inning. So it just kind of worked itself out, and Wasatch got 2 runs as it stands anyway. And so it kind of feels like we're where we should be in this game. Somebody's going to have to go win it by making the bigger play here in extra innings.
1-0 count after a ball 1 to Bluth. Doerr on the mound, delivers the 1-0. Swung on, it's a hard ground ball, and it's through the 3-4 hole. Cole Zimmerman had to stop, and so he's not going to be able to go from second to third. The right fielder bobbled it, but that's a tough read because that was behind Cole. But duck on the pond with 1 out, first and second after back-to-back singles from Zimmerman and Bluth.
It is a tough read for Cole because there's 2 things in mind. A line drive with the first baseman playing behind him. He doesn't know where he is and fearful of getting doubled up.
And it almost
Not to mention if you get hit, you're out.
Yeah, that's right.
If you get hit in the base paths, he's called out. And so he had to kind of go dodgeball for a moment. And it's unfortunate because the right fielder is very deep and he bobbled. That really should be a first to third ball. It was just bad luck on where that ball was hit.
2-2, big crowd as the softball game over. Winning run at second base for Kelson Stocking. He had a nice single to right field in his last at bat. Outfield is playing up. They got to have a chance to throw out a runner at the plate, and that's going to bring a trip to the mound from the pitching coach of Spanish Fork. Brought to you by Mirror Lake Station. Yeah, Wasatch will wrap up regular season play tomorrow at Spanish Fork. And that will then be a waiting game until Tuesday. I think Tuesday or Wednesday is when the RPI will be revealed. Wasatch hovering around a possible playing game on Friday, but probably will be right around where they were last year. 16 seed last year, they probably will be around that same spot. So they will then start their series on Saturday, and then we'll play
in game.
Right.
And so I think that's where you're at.
And straight back to the backstop, and we will reset at 1-2.
Curious to see what they do in the 9-hole spot, Tyler, if we get up to that point. And I guess, I guess we could, but Gage is in that spot.
1-2, and Kelson Stocking's going to take it off the shoulder, and the bases are now loaded for who else? Tyler Carter Bucad. He's already got 2 RBIs in the game on an RBI single down the right field line in his second at bat, and he's got a chance to win it here. Bases loaded. Spanish Fork has the opportunity to turn a double play up the middle if they want to. Right now, the infield playing in.
Again, I think it's scouting a little bit, Tyler. Knowing Carter, I actually think you have a better opportunity up the middle to get 2 on him.
They're going to do that, Ty. They're going to go double play up the middle, and then the infield on the corners are going to cut it off.
He does have a little bit of a tendency to hit a ground ball up the middle, but he's usually on the barrel when he does it. And so if you bring it in, that just opens up more gaps for the hitter. This is probably the right play if you're Spanish Fork to deepen up.
Bucad takes ball 1. Couple of just technicality things, Ty. You got to remind your runners on first and second that even with the base hit, you got to get to second and third, right? You got to touch the bags. You got to make sure you get to the bases because the double play ball is still in play. Ball low, bounces a little bit away from the catcher, but it's still 2-0. 1 out. Anything deep to the outfield or a ground ball through the infield, 2 RBIs in the ballgame. The 2-0 pitch hits the outside corner for strike 1. 2-1 now the count. Gage Sheesh on deck, hitting the 9th spot, who was inserted for Craig McPhee on the mound. 2-1. The pitch, swung on and missed by Bucad, and now we have deuces, 2-2.
That's the perfect double play pitch there. Carter was pulling off, trying to hit it in the air to the left side, but it was a lower outer half fastball. Wasatch might be fortunate he didn't make contact there.
2-2, it's a ground ball up the middle. Pitcher's going to throw it away from the catcher. He threw it away from the catcher. The pitcher misses the throw home, and Wasatch wins on a walk-off error by the pitcher, Carter Bucad, with all 3 RBIs in the game. Can't believe it was such a cleanly played game, and it comes down to that as the pitcher throws it away from the catcher, as Wasatch gets the win over number 1 Spanish Fork. And we'll have a rubber match once again tomorrow. 4 straight rubber matches for the Wasps. Wasatch wins 3-2. We'll take a breath. Ace Hardware post-game show coming up after this.
The 50s produced some great sound. That early rock and roll triggered so much emotion for so many. Here's another sound from that era. The dental drill triggers a whole different set of emotions. The sounds, the smells, feeling out of control, whatever keeps you from the dentist at Dorius Dental, we get it. We focus on the little things. Distract yourself with your favorite episode of The Office, or crank up the 80s or 90s and let it take you back to another time. At Dorius Dental, we are sensitive to your needs. We are taking care of the little things so you can move on to more enjoyable things. Located in Gateway Plaza, Heber City.
You might be used to having someone ask you the question, what is it that you need? I think that's limiting. I'm going to take you through a 6-step process, and it's simply answering questions. And it might not just be home. It might be that you want that fancy new car. It might be that you want trips. It's your list. What is it that you really, really want?
Call Tom Stone at Guild Mortgage in Heber City.
Tom Stone, MLS 257849. Guild Mortgage Company is an equal housing lender. MLS 3274. All loans are subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions may apply. Subject to change without notice.
Hi, this is Nicole with Mountain Refined Furnishings and Flooring. And if you didn't know, we've recently partnered with Mattress Warehouse of Utah to bring you the largest selection of mattresses around. The team at Mountain Refined prides themselves on making your home a place where you love to be. We offer a large selection of furnishings, flooring, window treatments, gifts, decor, and so much more. If you haven't been by lately, stop and check it out. You'll be pleasantly surprised. We're located at 480 North Main Street.
Heber City Point S is locally owned and operated by Larry Rhodes and Brad Hyatt. They offer the best brand tires at low prices with extensive knowledge and experience of repair and services with no pressure sales. Only what you need. They've been taking care of cars, trucks, and trailers for over 20 years. No appointment needed, conveniently located, free shuttle service, and free Wi-Fi. Take $5 off your next visit when you tell them 94.5 The Peak sent you over. That's Heber City Point S.
Gucci Goo Barbecue in Heber Valley is a premier barbecue restaurant. You can choose from finger-licking ribs, poppin' andouille sausage, tasty chicken, tender brisket, delicious pork, and yummy street tacos. Friday night dates, take that significant other for the smoked prime rib that melts in your mouth. Family-friendly atmosphere where everyone is welcome, quick service for dine-in or takeout, great quality food, and great value for your money. That's Gucci Goo in Midway on Main Street.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
KTMP, Heber City, and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
Well, I think my heart's settled down a little bit, and it's time for your Timberline Ace Hardware post-game show right here in the Heber City. Visit us for all your hardware needs. Come in to get your Carhartt wear, your cool outdoor clothing, and Wrangler jeans at 737 South Main Street behind Panda Express, serving the Heber Valley for over 50 years. Wasatch gets the victory 3-2. And I'm going to throw it over to you for the Gordon Law Group of how we got there. The Gordon Law Group is your full-service local law firm practicing in all areas of the law. They take pride in saying, yeah, we do that.
Well, what a game, Tyler. The Spanish Fork Dons took a 1-0 lead in the top of the first on an error by Wasatch in the outfield that allowed the Dons to score a run. And then Wasatch put up a lot of zeros on the boards on Spanish Fork from that point forward. Spanish Fork didn't score in the second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth inning. It wasn't until the 7th that the Dons got their second run, and that would be significant, and we'll get to that in a moment. Wasatch, on the other hand, they hit the ball very well today. 10 hits on the game for Wasatch, and out-hit the Dons, doubled them up, actually. Spanish Fork only 5 hits on the day, but it took Wasatch a little bit to get it going before they pushed a few runs across the board. Into the 4th inning, trailing 1-0, the Wasps were able to load the bases up, and Carter Bucad got a base knock that scored 2 runs. that 2-run lead stayed until the top of the 7th when Spanish Fork got the leadoff man on by an error from Wasatch, and then with 2 outs, a triple by Duval of Spanish Fork drove in that run to tie it up 2-2. Wasatch couldn't get anything in the bottom of the 7th, but in the 8th, Gage Sheesh came in and shut down the Dons. He'll end up getting the win in this one, even though Jackson Bolender was the starter and pitched an absolute gem for 7 innings. But Wasatch in the 8th took care of business. Tyler was able to get a couple runners on, loaded up the bases, and then Carter Bucad actually had the most probably soft hit of the game for Wasatch, just rolled over to the pitcher, and the pitcher grabbed it and threw it to the backstop, and the winning run scored on an error. And Wasatch gets a 3-2 victory over Spanish Fork, only the 4th loss for the Dons on the year. Each one of their losses has been by 1 run, Tyler. And so this Spanish Fork team, that's a great win for Wasatch. And the Wasps should be in a pretty good position to fight whoever they're set up against in the state tournament, which is set to begin not this Saturday, but a week from this Saturday.
Yeah, Ty, so as we talk about this ball game and where Wasatch is at, and we talked about the bats, and the bats weren't necessarily there again, but some very competitive at-bats against a good pitcher on the mound. And just talk to us a little bit, put your coaching hat on. What does this type of win do for your program as you go into the state tournament?
Well, I feel like this team, you know, the cliche answer is you feel like you can beat anyone, because this is the clear number 1 team. I think if you're going to put another team, I guess, in that battle right now, it would be Lehigh, because Lehigh defeated the Spanish Fork team 7-6. But I think those are your teams up there. You had a thought.
I think Olympus is up there too. If you look at Olympus's scores, they're starting to come on as well. But they're kind of a dark horse.
Yeah,
I agree.
They're a dark horse, and you could say Jordan's a bit of a dark horse.
But the consistent top 2 teams have been Spanish.
It's Spanish and Lehigh, you know, because they beat the Dons. And so the cliche answer is, hey, you can play with anyone, Tyler. But what it does is it puts the belief in you. Momentum was dying a little bit offensively, and you just put 10 hits up against the leading pitcher in the state. You talked about it, Ty. He came in with a .06 ERA, and so this thing goes a long ways where these hitters, and you still, Peyton Swab didn't get to stay in the whole game, and he's been your best hitter all year long. And so as a team, you're thinking, okay, we can do this. We can get hits against whoever you put out against us. We just beat Barrett of Springville, an Arizona State commit. Now we've gone up and beat the number 1 pitcher in 5A as far as ERA in Dalton of Spanish Fork. And so this team should be believing that they've got the ability to beat anyone, because they do. It's just about believing, getting hot at the right time. And this team's got the mojo going on right now, Ty.
Country Garden and Nursery, your only one-stop shop for everything garden and yard related in the Heber Valley. Stop in for your indoor plant shop and the plant of the month. Let's go ahead and hand out some Ty's trophies, and we'll start, and this one's an obvious one, Ty, and I'm going to go ahead and take this one. The Bank of Utah hitter of the game, and we're going to give it to Carter Bucad. Had only 1 hit, but that 1 hit brought in 2 runs. It was a 2 RBI single over the right fielder, or over the first baseman's head to the right field side, and then he was able to at least get the ball in play that ended up bringing in the winning run. So all 3 RBIs go to Carter Bucad today, your Bank of Utah hitter of the game. I'll throw it over to you, Ty, for our Point S Tires defensive standout.
Yeah, Ty, there were a couple of plays is what I want to go to with this defensive standout. Crew Erickson in center field made a very impressive ball that got hit just a missile to center field from Duval late in the game stages, and Crew went back and made the catch on the warning track going up against the fence. And to me, that was the Point S defensive standout. But Tyler, it felt like every time he needed an out to close an inning down, Carter Bucad was somewhere hovering around there. And so Carter Bucad's going to get the nod as the defensive player standout, but the play of the game is really to Crew Erickson on that play in center field. Over to you, Ty, the UCCU spark of the game. Out of all the things that happened, what was the moment that you feel like was the spark that fueled this team?
Man, the spark. That one's a tough one because I think, in all honesty, that run that was given up and then Jackson Bolender not getting the strike or the safe call at first base might have been what he needed to do what he did on the mound today. 7 innings pitched, 6 Ks, 2 walks, only gave up 4 hits, kept the Spanish Fork team to no earned runs. Both runs were unearned. And so it was a negative spark, but I think it gave Jackson Bolender, I mean, he's a guy you don't want to tick off on the mound, and he got ticked off a little bit, and he went after this lineup, and he was really good on the mound. Of course, the Carter Bucad single over the right fielder's head is on my mind. A 2-out hit from Gutierrez because that got the pitch count up for the starter, Dalton, and then that brought in the bullpen catcher, and Wasatch was able to jump on the bullpen. So there's a lot of different things there, and I think sometimes this UCCU can be a recognition of the things that don't show up in the scorebook. And so that single, right, extending the inning there a little bit against Dalton, to get him chased is a big deal. Gage Sheesh, Ty, it wasn't like he came in against the bottom of the lineup. He came in against 4, 5, 6, and all 4 of those guys had hits in this series. All 3 of those guys had hits in this series, and he just went out with the fastball, Ty. It wasn't like he was landing the curveball. He just went and challenged him with the fastball and got 3 straight outs. A big deal from Gage Sheesh there. And lastly, Ty, a good spa day play of the game.
Well, it's got to be your walk-off.
That's right.
Ty. It's got to be the walk-off there, and I still don't know quite what to say because it feels good to be the number 1 team, but that was